Pokémon. I, the father of Pokémon. Chapter 21. At this time, there was a lot of noise in the venue. Many people rushed to hear the sound and shouted that it was a pity that they missed the wonderful battle. Fortunately, someone recorded a video, which can be shared with each other. The evolution of Pichu into Pikachu has been unexpected, and now the Thunderbolt is used to knock down the spirit dog, which is even more heated. Thank you for the wonderful performance presented by Yusheng Chengli Technology Biology Company. Everyone applauds our president Gu. Lu Sheng picked up Pikachu Gigi with one hand and said loudly with a smile. Many people in the audience heard the overtones, but they still clapped and applauded with Lu Sheng. Gu Li's face was ashen, and he wished he would come on stage to kill Lu Sheng. Hey, I was worried that Pichu's abilities might not improve after he advanced to Pikachu, but now it doesn't seem to be the case. Not only has it improved, but it has improved a lot. Lu Sheng knocked Pikachu's head in his arms, and Gigi growled dissatisfied, Pikachu. I like to name it after the little guy's growl, so it's called Pikachu from now on. And after the advanced level, Pikachu not only has the ability to discharge, I'm sorry, I just named it, Thunderbolt. As for the other ability, everyone should have seen it. It bursts with absolute speed in a short period of time. I call it, Quick Attack. Of course, I believe that Pikachu has more than these two abilities. They have super learning ability and can learn new skills through training. I also believe that Pikachu cannot evolve to a deeper level. The audience was very lively, and the movement just now attracted almost 1/3 of the people who came to the exhibition. Everyone was surprised by this, and was amazed at the two skills proposed by Lu Sheng, and they were even more astonished that Lu Sheng proposed to evolve further. Can it still evolve? It's amazing. Some local tyrants at the scene all sighed after seeing the power of Pikachu. I knew earlier, I should have made a decisive move when I pre-ordered a few days ago, online fishing reels will harm people. Someone responded. No, it should be said that it is all about Gu Li, without his hints, can we be influenced? The spearhead then aimed at Gu Li. In the incident just now, Gu Li was stomped on by many people, and many people thought about Gu Li stealing Lu Sheng's spirit dog technology on the internet. The Pokémon company has a peculiar technology, and if it gets stolen, it seems like it all comes down to it. As for touch porcelain, as long as the genetic creatures created are good enough, do we need to touch porcelain to promote it? No need at all. As long as it is made public, it can attract a lot of attention. After the logic is clear, there is only one substantive evidence, but it cannot restrain everyone's suspicion. Pikachu's fight with the spirit dog attracted the attention of the organizers. Director Zhu is here again. After some inquiries, Director Zhu was both amazed at the changes in Pichu and dissatisfied with the matter. It is rare for genetic creatures to launch attacks, but now there is one case, or at an exhibition. Fortunately, I was lucky, and I was directly knocked down by Lu Sheng's genetic creature. If I accidentally caused panic at the exhibition, as the person in charge of the exhibition, Director Zhu would be blamed by the top. Director Zhu, I didn't know that Dakiong would attack suddenly. I guess it may be the active taunt of Pokemon's genetic creatures. The spirit dog produced by our strong company has been strictly reviewed and tested in terms of stability. In the face of Director Zhu's questioning, Gu Li insisted on arguing and threw the pot away. Yes. Director Zhu snorted softly, not believing it at all. How could he not stop the contradiction between the two companies? 80% of it was ordered by Gu Li. Certainly. Gu Li responded. Lu Sheng stepped forward at this time, holding a big loudspeaker in his hand. Mr. Gu, should you give me an explanation, give everyone an explanation. Across the distance, can Pikachu still be able to taunt to the spirit dog? Whoever believes this nonsense is an idiot. Zhu Ju's mouth twitched. Why do you feel like you're calling yourself an idiot? Director Zhu, I know you have a position, so Solician can't testify. It's okay, I don't care about this matter. Anyway, the thing that was baked into Coke is not Pikachu. Lu Sheng can be said to be heartbreaking. Gu Li's teeth are itchy. In his heart, Lu Sheng was not such a sharp-mouthed fool before. However, everyone should pay attention. The spirit dog is unstable and will go mad at any time. This time the spirit dog can attack the cute Pikachu. Will it attack other little creatures next time, or even humans? Lu Sheng's voice spread around through the loudspeaker, and some people already agreed with it. How Pikachu taunts Spirit Dog. 80% is crazy, or Ji Yu Li instructed. The latter is still good, indicating that the dog is worth buying. If the former, it shows that there are unstable factors in the Spirit Dog gene, which will greatly reduce the popular desire to buy. Lu Sheng, shut up for me. Ji Yu Li couldn't bear it anymore and roared. Haha, the mouth is on my face, I can open it if I like it. Lu Sheng said cheaply. Mr. Ji Yu, hurry up and bring your spiritual dog back, maybe it can be made into a table of delicious barbecue. WCNM. Ji Yu Li was almost stunned. Barbecue. Hastily. No, your spirit dog doesn't seem to have died yet. However, according to the law, genetic organisms that attack for no reason can be sentenced to death. I'm sorry, your company's barbecue will not be available. Lu Sheng took another stab and went back happily. Ji Yu Li was trembling all over. In history, he has never suffered from this kind of anger. The biggest insult in the past was just the happy ball of the rich woman during the nursing period. After the coordination of Director Zhu, the spirit dog Daqiang was sent to be executed. In fact, if it is brought back for good treatment, it will still be alive and well, and the physique of genetic creatures is stronger than most creatures. Director Zhu wanted to drive away the strong company, but the big capital behind the strong company came forward and protected the strong company. For this reason, Director Zhu was helpless and explained to Lu Sheng in private. In the opinion of Director Zhu, Lu Sheng's Pokémon company will have a bright future, and making good friends with Lu Sheng will help in the future. Lu Sheng also gave Director Zhu face, and did not continue to care about Ji Yu Li. Anyway, after today's incident, the reputation of the powerful company will plummet. In contrast, the Pokémon company will rise like a new star, unstoppable. Shocked. Pichu from Pokémon Biotech actually evolved on the spot at the New Century Pet Show. A magical genetic creature, Pichu, transformed in the public and became Pikachu. Spiritual dog. Exploding, the new species Pikachu is a thunderbolt, turning the spiritual dog into a barbecue. Surprise. The spirit dog is actually unstable. He hoped for a cute little creature at the exhibition, but was punished by the little creature. Fantastic battle, speed-type genetic creature vs lightning-type genetic creature. At the end of the first day of the exhibition, a video of the battle between the dog and Pikachu has been spread on the internet. On several mainstream video sites, the number of broadcasts passed overnight, and the number of views exceeded 1 million, and the impact was even higher. Pichu, Pikachu, Pokémon Company, Lu Sheng. Overnight, the whole network recognized Pokémon and became more familiar with Lu Sheng. The last time, the fight between Lu Sheng and Ji Yu Li has caused quite a bit of repercussions on the internet, but the attention is far less than this time. Because Pichu evolved into Pikachu, it was a shock to the industry, not only on the domestic network, but also in foreign videos, which became a hot topic at home and abroad. As everyone gets to know more, it turns out that the bio designer of the Pokémon company is actually the boss Lu Sheng. A person who is not yet 30 years old but can create Pichu is a genius. And, in a certain technology, it is better than any company in the world. Giving genetic creatures the power to evolve. Pichu evolves into Pikachu, and the video is widely circulated on the internet, which is more popular than Pikachu defeating the spirit dog. Evolution is not a new concept. Any creature, after countless years, will change somewhat. There are similar changes in the field of genetic biology, such as gene mutation, and some companies are also privately studying how to speed up the mutation process, but they have not produced effective results. The Pokémon company has undoubtedly pointed out a direction for many companies. I believe that after this matter, many companies will go all out to study it in depth. Genius bio designer Lu Sheng. The domestic and foreign media rushed to draft the draft overnight, deducting a big title for Lu Sheng. Pichu and Pikachu are famous at home and abroad, and Lu Sheng's name was sung by many people overnight. The next day, half an hour before the exhibition venue opened to the public, Lu Sheng has received a lot of good news from the company. For example, a well-known company wants to invest in Pokémon, hoping to meet Lu Sheng after the exhibition. Another example is a certain foreign biotechnology company that wants to buy technology from Lu Sheng to evolve genetic organisms, and is willing to spend billions. On the other end of the phone, the company's personnel complained and laughed. Mr. Lu, my mailbox exploded last night, and job resumes kept coming in all night. Everything is going in the direction that Lu Sheng envisioned. Want to invest in a company? Sorry, no. Want to buy evolutionary technology? Sorry, neither do I. Recruitment is feasible, but the company is in desperate need of employees. Since the resumes are crowded, Lu Sheng requires the personnel department to strictly screen when selecting the follow-up employees. I saw a few familiar faces in my resume. My colleague who left before is planning to come back. What does Mr. Lu say? In the company group, personnel specially mentioned this matter. Lu Sheng replied arrogantly, what do you want them to do? Since they have left us, there is no reason to take it back. It's hard to get over the water, understand? The group was instantly happy. Many employees can't help but feel that they didn't leave the company at the beginning, otherwise, they would regret it like those people. Even an idiot can see the future of the Pokémon company. All of this is due to President Lu. The little secretary Huang Xiaoyu said a good word in the group. Of course no one in the group objected, and even Zhou Churan jumped out to say that Lu Sheng had turned the situation around. Lu Sheng was bragging in the group cheerfully, and suddenly the phone called, but it was the former manager Chen of the bank. It seems that manager Chen has also heard the news. I'm afraid that they are willing to lend me a loan. Lu Sheng knew very well, and deliberately refused to answer. He hung up the phone there, and after a few minutes, another call came. Hey, Manager Chen, why are you free to call me? Lu Sheng took a good posture and pretended not to understand. Cough, Mr. Lu, last time you mentioned that the company wanted a loan, didn't I say there is no quota? Manager Chen said with a dry smile. But, I applied for another place later. If Lu Zong intends to take a loan, I am willing to provide it here. The upper limit can reach 50 million. Only 50 million. Lu Sheng teased. It seems that Manager Chen is really powerful, and he got me a place so quickly, thank you. However, many banks have called me this morning, and some said that they can loan hundreds of millions of dollars. Alas, it's really hard to choose. Manager Chen was silent for a while, and said, Mr. Lu, I'll turn around and ask, a loan of 100 million yuan is not a problem. Well, I'll wait for the good news from Manager Chen. After Lu Sheng finished speaking, he hung up the phone. Lu Sheng was still a little annoyed when he was politely rejected by Manager Chen last time, but now he seized the opportunity. How could he be worthy of himself if he didn't make a toss? Lu Sheng has only applied for a loan from Manager Chen's bank, and there was no call from other banks in the morning, just toying with Manager Chen. The venue opens on time in the morning. After many people entered the exhibition, they went to the 012 booth for the first time. Not to see the spirit dog, but to see Pichu at the booth next door. Lu Sheng and others started a busy day again. The performance program is about the same as yesterday. This time to a Pikachu Gigi. Gigi herself is not an adult. After evolving into Pikachu, she is still cute, but she is bigger than Pichu. It is already the leader of many Pichus, sitting on a small reclining chair and directing several small Pichus to massage it. The audience under the stage laughed and wanted to have one. At booth 012 next door, due to yesterday's incident, Jiyu Li and Miao Lina were ashamed to show up and handed over the work to the staff. The liveliness of the two booths was slightly compared, and the gap was larger than yesterday. There are many spectators who want to see Pikachu and Pichu today. Husband tilde Pichu is so cute, I want to buy one. In the crowd, a charming girl was snuggling in the arms of a big boss. How much? I'll buy it for you if you like it. The round-faced man waved his hand, very unrestrained and arrogant. My husband is so nice. The girl kissed the round-faced man on the face and said with a smile, I heard that it costs 300,000 yuan, look. 300,000. The round-faced man almost choked. But I have made a promise in front of my girlfriend, and I can't take back what I say. In order to save face, the man had to pat his chest and promise, okay, let's go back and buy one. No, I want it now. The girl shook the arm of the round-faced man, desperately charmed. Hey, I can't stand you. Okay, buy it now, I'll ask them. The round-faced man had nothing to do, he knew he shouldn't have said that. So the two ran aside to question the Pokémon employees. Hey, how do you sell Pichu from your company? Is it 300,000 pieces? I'll give you the money, now pack it for me and go. The round-faced man raised his chest and raised his voice, for fear that the people around him would not hear him. Sure enough, there were already many envious people on the side, discussing the matter in a low voice. The man raised the corners of his mouth slightly, feeling dark in his heart. Sorry sir, our company's Pichus have all been reserved, so. The employees of the Pokémon company apologized slightly. Stop talking nonsense, do you think I can't pay? 300,000 yuan, 350,000 yuan. I want one, and I want it now. The round-faced man was reluctant and raised the price up. This. The employee was very embarrassed. Raise the price for a fart. Small. Okay, then 400,000. The round-faced man's face sank, and he yelled at the other party for his black heart, but he was still not satisfied. The employees were overwhelmed, and Lu Sheng heard the movement at this time and came over. Sir, we don't have many breeder Pichus in our company at the moment. All of them have been pre-ordered. If you want, you can wait for a while. Lu Sheng gave the employee a wink, the other party was relieved, nodded to Lu Sheng, and stepped back. To deal with such rambunctious customers, ordinary employees are not very useful, because they have little right to speak, and they will not be strong, and they are afraid of offending customers. You're the boss of that company, aren't you? Give me one for 400,000 yuan. I don't care if anyone pre-orders it, it's going to be right now. The round-faced man was 40 years old, his face was tense, and he looked extremely serious and intimidating. Lu Sheng shook his head helplessly. Sir, as I said, the quota is gone. 450,000. The man continued to increase the price. It's no use giving me $4.5 million. Lu Sheng's face turned cold, and said, we have given you enough respect, don't be shameless, Gigi. As soon as it was called, Pikachu Gigi on the stage quickly fell to its side, spark flashing on his body. You. The round-faced man and the girl were startled. 2. Lu Sheng's tone slowed down again, and said helplessly, rules are rules. Others have already booked in advance. How can I change it? Doing business requires integrity. I think this old man is also a businessman, so he should understand. The round-faced man hesitated for a moment, then nodded and said, that's what I said, but I've increased the price. It doesn't matter if you add 10 times to me. If you are willing to add 100 times, I can think about it. Lu Sheng spreads his hands. You can't increase it 100 times, so wait in line for pre-orders, and don't mess around here. The two of them squeezed out of the crowd and ran away. After all, it can't be said and said, and the force can't compare. Seeing this scene, many in the crowd applauded Lu Sheng's adherence to business principles without appearing hypocritical. 10 times unwilling, but 100 times yes. There are many people who originally thought similar to the round-faced man, but after this incident, they can only dispel their thoughts. Mr. Lu, can you tell me when you can buy Pichu? Some people can't wait to get an answer. Lu Sheng looked around and saw many people looking expectantly. He smiled and said, according to the current plan, the company will solve the funding problem first, and then expand the laboratory to increase the number of Pichu births. Also, you don't have to just stare at Pichu, the company currently has a brand new creature that is in breeder and will be unveiled in the near future. It also has special abilities and promises to surprise everyone. Lu Sheng announced another big news by the way. Brand new species. Many were shocked. It wasn't long before the Pokémon company created Pichu, but now it has publicly stated that there is a new species, and it also has special abilities. Mr. Lu, what type is it? Does it also have the ability to release the discharge flow? It was also designed by Mr. Lu himself. Someone is curious. Yes, I designed it. As for the details, we will keep it secret for the time being. Lu Sheng smiled and said, you will know when the time comes. You don't have to wait too long. Of course, we have to pass the review of the evaluation agency first. I hope the agency will take care of it. He couldn't help laughing when he thought of the silly and mean-looking Squirtle emoji he often saw on the internet in his previous life. 2 styles of Pokémon, I believe it will quickly open up the market for the Pokémon company. Mr. Lu is really powerful. Maybe this is the genius designer, and only the real genius designers in the world can compare with him. Looking forward, with the example of Pichu, I believe that the second creature will not be bad. Everyone was talking. The admiration for Lu Sheng is like a surging river. Lu Sheng returned to the work area of the booth. Only Zhou Churan was a laboratory staff member at the scene. It was the first time for the rest of the employees to hear that the boss had designed a new species, and their emotions were indescribable. Mr. Lu, what you just said didn't bluff. An employee said with admiration. Certainly. Lu Sheng said with a smile. You can ask Director Zhou, she is in charge of the laboratory, and she has been preparing again a few days ago. Everyone looked at Zhou Churan in unison. Zhou Churan hesitated for a moment and said, actually, there is more than one kind. President Lu has prepared the seeds of 2 new creatures. The staff were completely speechless. Mr. Lu is really good enough to give everyone one surprise after another. Powerful biotech company. Ji Yuli saw the news of Lu Sheng from the internet again, and he was so angry that he smashed the computer on the table on the spot. Snapped. The laptop is torn apart. Ji Yuli scolded 3 times in a row, but still couldn't relieve his hatred. Miao Lina was silent beside her. After returning last night, Ji Yuli was furious, even Miao Lina was still reprimanded by Ji Yuli. Call. Ji Yuli let out a long sigh and wondered. Lina, you said that the luck that this fool brought, is there an expert behind it? If you say he has strength, I don't believe it. I don't know what kind of bird he was in college. Do you understand? In addition to escaping classes every day, I go to KTV and bars to hang out, and learn about biological design with a hammer. How can you say that Pichu was designed by him? Now that he has said that he has designed another new species, I will fool. Ji Yuli was not convinced. Before being stepped on by Lu Sheng, it was because Lu Sheng had a family background. As soon as Grandpa Lu Sheng left, Ji Yuli immediately moved his mind and coaxed Lu Sheng, and quickly deceived Lu Sheng's property. Stomping Lu Sheng hard under your feet. Now Lu Sheng is not only making a comeback, but stepping back. Lina, if I get a Pichu, will you be able to study the genes? Ji Yuli had a crooked mind. Miao Lina was startled and said quickly, don't be impulsive, you will kill us by doing this. Now the Genetic Organisms Protection Law and Genetic Organisms Use Law are strict year by year. We can also take advantage of the loopholes, but now there are no loopholes to take advantage of. Once we are discovered, we will never be saved. Not only the Dragon Kingdom, but the 2 treaties are common to the whole world. All genetic organisms registered in the evaluation agency are protected by law. If someone uses genetic organisms registered by other companies to conduct research without authorization, once it is discovered, not only punishment, the company will go bankrupt, but also imprisonment. Casually sentenced to more than 10 years in prison, serious people don't even think about it for the rest of their lives. Because the current intelligence of genetic organisms is increasing year by year, it is difficult to treat them as guinea pigs, and they have commercial value, and the enforcement of the protection law is quite strict. Not only that, every country has a new century biological union, and many gene biology companies will join and play the role of supervisors. In recent years, private research on other companies' genetic biology has been decreasing year by year, and it is now rare. If netizens dare to say that a certain company has this intention on the internet, a special agency will immediately intervene in the investigation. The result is either that the company is verified and severely punished by law. Either it is false, and the netizen will be sued by the company to compensate for a large amount of reputation damage. No company is willing to be involved in this kind of thing, almost to the extent of talking about a tiger's discoloration. Similar to Western black people who discriminate against political correctness, whoever is stained will be criticized by the society. Yeah, times have changed. Ji Yuli let out a breath and shook his head helplessly. Actually, even if we can get one for research, we estimate that it will be more difficult to crack. There must be a lock in the gene. The technology in this area is very mature. I believe the people who designed Pichu will not neglect this aspect. Miao Lina pulled out another major difficulty from a professional point of view. From legal to technical, everything is difficult. Even foreign Grand Duke companies dare not try it easily. Alas! Ji Yuli was just angry. If things are not completely sure, he dare not do it. It was the most daring thing he had ever done to lead someone out of the walking biotechnology company. When Ji Li wanted to say something, a ringing of his cell phone interrupted his thoughts. Secretary Song. He connected quickly. The other party was the secretary of Huang Yutao, an investor in Qiancheng Company. Most of the calls were made by Huang Yutao with instructions. Mr. Ji, Mr. Huang has already learned about your affairs. Although Secretary Song addressed Mr. Ji Li, his attitude was still arrogant. What instructions does Mr. Huang have? Ji Li was so angry that he wanted to curse. However, Secretary Song is Huang Yutao's celebrity and can't afford to offend him. Secretary Song said slowly, Mr. Huang asked me to ask, how much do you think the Pokémon company is worth? How much is it worth? Ji Li's eyelids jumped, and he said solemnly, Huang always intends to invest, or. Of course it's a wholly owned acquisition, how much is Mr. Huang short of? Ji Li twitched his lips and said, actually, there is no need for a wholly owned acquisition. As long as the technology is acquired, it can save a lot of effort. I don't know much about this. Oh, it seems that I can't count on you. There directly hung up the phone. Ji Li touched a gray nose, but there was nothing he could do. The New Century Pet Exhibition lasts for 3 days. On the first day, the Pokémon Company exploded. The next day, the Pokémon Company continued to explode in popularity. On the third day, it was still popular at the exhibition and became a well-known enterprise at home and abroad. After the 3-day exhibition, Lu Sheng continued to devote himself to his busy life. Due to the outstanding performance in the exhibition, the company has received contact from some companies during the exhibition. Some want to buy Lu Sheng's technology, some want to invest in Pokémon, and some want to become a Pokémon channel. The Pokémon Company has suddenly become a bun, and many are eyeing it. Many of them are internationally renowned companies. For some companies that want to buy technology, Lu Sheng asked employees to respond uniformly. There is no idea of selling technology at the moment. Those technologies all rely on the Pokédex system, so there is no way to give it. In addition to company affairs, there are many additional interviews. Personnel mailboxes are crowded, and a lot of resumes come in every day. Lu Sheng's request suddenly became higher, and the personnel department was first screened for a round, and finally it was up to him to decide. All of these things were within Lu Sheng's expectations, but one thing was unexpected. Cough. You mean, a call from the city government office, Secretary Shi wants to visit our company. When Lu Sheng heard Huang Xiaoyu's report, he almost spit up with a sip of tea. It has only been 3 days since the exhibition, but Mr. Shi was alarmed, and a secretary was specially sent to inspect. I thought it might happen in the future, how could it happen so quickly? This event is very important for the Pokémon Company. Lu Sheng lacks some assistance now. If he can have a good relationship with the local government, it will be of great benefit to the development of Pokémon Company. Well, they asked if it was okay tomorrow morning. Huang Xiaoyu nodded as if he was pecking at rice, his eyes full of admiration. During this period of time, the company has undergone earth-shaking changes, and now it has shocked a higher level. No problem, you can reply. Lu Sheng pondered for a while, and said, by the way, I will announce the matter to the company, so that everyone can prepare, and the hygiene environment will also be prepared for me. Don't be ashamed in front of others. Okay. Huang Xiaoyu took 2 steps, then turned back and said excitedly, Mr. Lu, do you want to get a banner or other welcome props? Lu Sheng waved his hand and said, no need, our Chief Shi of Yunhai City does not advocate extravagant and wasteful face projects. This Secretary Wen wears the same pair of pants as Chief Shi, and the policy must be the same. What's more, the company is very different now, don't be too deliberate to befriend others. Huang Xiaoyu was stunned, and half-believingly said, then listen to Mr. Lu. After replying to the message there, the 2 sides made an appointment. Huang Xiaoyu couldn't wait to announce this good news in front of everyone. Tomorrow, Secretary Wen will come to the company to visit, everyone should do a good job of hygiene, and pack up everything. The employees were a little confused and asked who the Secretary Wen was. Huang Xiaoyu blinked his bright eyes and said in surprise, don't you usually watch the news? Who else can we in Yunhai City beside the secretary? Huh. Is it Chongxi's secretary? Someone thought of it for the first time. Yes. I just got on the phone. I'm going to visit the company tomorrow. You should pay attention to your image. Huang Xiaoyu twisted his waist back to the company. The employees were all shocked. As a small business. For now, Pokémon is still a small business. It was able to alarm the senior management of Yunhai City, and sent important confidants to visit. Many medium-sized enterprises in Yunhai City do not have this honor. Boss Lu is mighty. It's all up to Mr. Lu to turn things around. As far as I know, the outside world's valuation of our company is very high. What is this? You may not know that the company mailbox is full of all kinds of emails recently, and the phone keeps ringing all day long. Companies in major countries and regions all want to work with us. Tell you guys, even the world's largest biotech company Seno has sent an email. One by one, they talked about the changes in the company, and their expressions were full of pride. Lu Sheng, from being criticized privately by employees to being admired by employees, it has not been long before and after. The next day, around 10 in the morning, Lu Sheng, dressed in a suit and leather shoes, was working on documents at his desk. There was a little noise outside, and footsteps approached the office. Mr. Road. Huang Xiaoyu stood at the door, a little nervous and a little helpless. Beside her was a tall and straight middle-aged man who was looking at Lu Sheng, who was busy. He is Secretary Wen. Secretary Wen came to the company, and there was no big scene, only a few people were with him. After they arrived at the Pokémon company, they only said a word to the front desk, and then went straight to the office. Secretary Wen saw that Lu Sheng was still busy at the desk, and smiled. Mr. Lu is really young and promising. Lu Sheng raised his head in amazement, glanced at Huang Xiaoyu, saw the other party winking desperately, and suddenly realized. But Secretary Wen. Lu Sheng got up with a smile, not saying anything or being humble, not panicking because of the unexpected event. It was originally scheduled to meet at 10:30, but Secretary Wen arrived early. Ah, hello. Secretary Wen took the initiative to reach out. Hello. Lu Sheng held it, and said embarrassedly, I thought Secretary Wen came over at 10:30. I was a little involved in one thing just now, but I didn't notice. It's okay. Secretary Wen smiled and said, young people should be as active and enthusiastic as Mr. Lu at work. I didn't come here early to surprise you. The morning thing was done ahead of time, so I can't wait to see you. Me? Lu Sheng asked in surprise. Yes, Mr. Lu doesn't seem to know. Recently, you have been talked about by many people. Even our boss has praised you very much. We value your company very much. Lu Sheng greeted Secretary Wen a few words of courtesy, and then led Secretary Wen around the company. The employees in the company are extremely upright and serious, and some people quietly look at the secretary and compare it with the image seen on TV and the internet. Secretary Wen proposed to visit Lu Sheng's laboratory, but Lu Sheng did not refuse. The two were in the same car. In the front is Secretary Wen's driver, Lu Sheng, and Secretary Wen in the back row. Mr. Lu, do you know which city in our Longtang Kingdom first proposed to respond to the international community and establish a new biological evaluation and supervision agency? Secretary Wen suddenly asked. Lu Sheng was stunned, searched his memory, but had no relevant information, and said tentatively, Cloud Sea City. That's right, it's our Yunhai City. Secretary Wen fell into memory. At the beginning, Yunhai City first proposed to integrate with the international market, so Longtangguo's evaluation agency was established. However, there are few excellent biotechnology companies in Yunhai City, and only 3 or 2 small fish and shrimps really come out. Quote. Shi Chong said that he wants to make your Pokémon company a signboard of our Yunhai City. He has talked to me a lot in the past 2 days and is willing to give your company some preferential policies to support you. Really? Lu Sheng's heart was overjoyed, but his face remained calm. Pokémon Company will not live up to the expectations of Yunhai City, and strive to be the best. Yes, do the best you can. Secretary Wen agrees. The two talked a lot in the car. Anyway, relying on his advantages, Lu Sheng made many demands to Secretary Wen. Secretary Wen listened quietly and occasionally gave some more accurate answers. For example, in terms of policy support, Secretary Wen said that he can give Pokémon some subsidies and discounts, which can save the company's development costs. There is a big problem with the company's funds. I have already applied for a loan with XX Bank, but it is only 100 million at most. I don't think it is enough. Secretary Wen, look. Lu Sheng deliberately diverted the topic to funding. Secretary Wen pondered for a moment and said, I'll tell you when I go back. I'll give you a higher quota. I think your company is very good, and the value of the industry is more than 100 million yuan. Okay, then thank you Secretary Wen. Lu Sheng was delighted. I'm just going back to advise, it's not 100% guaranteed. Secretary Wen speaks impeccably. Otherwise, the two of them sound like they have insider trading. Yes, just a suggestion. After the car stopped, a few people got out of the car. Lu Sheng invited them into the laboratory. The company's laboratory is currently relatively old. I plan to expand it in the future. There is no good address to choose from. If Secretary Wen has better suggestions, you can tell me. How could Secretary Wen not hear the overtones of Lu Sheng's words? Isn't it just reaching out to him for a place to set up a laboratory? For the time being, I pretended not to understand, and if there was a suitable place later, I would tell Lu Sheng. Hey, the place is a little messy, don't mind Secretary Wen, the main reason is that the laboratory is too small. If only it could be changed to a bigger and more spacious laboratory. Lu Sheng is implying every sentence. Secretary Wen's face was expressionless, but his heart was miserable, and he secretly scolded Lu Sheng for being slick. It's not that Secretary Wen doesn't want to help, but it's because there are many people and he can't fully guarantee the ticket. He has to look back at the situation and consult Mr. Shi. Everyone, please, this is the breeder room of the laboratory. At present, there are 120 small and medium-sized cultivation tanks here, and here are the genetic biological seeds that have just been put in. Yesterday, the last batch of Pichu eggs, Squirtle eggs and Charmander eggs were all finished. So Lu Sheng came here again to cast the seed and continue breeder. The last time I borrowed 8 million from the bank, in the blink of an eye, most of it has been consumed, and the money is like water. She is Zhou Churan, the head of the laboratory. Lu Sheng introduced to several confused laboratory personnel. Our secretary of the city, you should know each other, right? Zhou Churan and the others nodded dazedly. Secretary Shi wanted to come to the laboratory for inspection, but they didn't receive the news in advance, and they were all worried. You keep busy, don't worry about us. Churan, take us to the incubation room. Lu Sheng waved them away. Secretary Wen didn't care. After all, it was Lu Sheng's territory, and Secretary Wen didn't like to put on airs. Everyone came to the incubation room again. Hey, does Pichu rely on hatching? How come there are 3 colors? Secretary Wen immediately noticed something was wrong. Don't Secretary Wen know? I announced to the public that the Pokémon company is already working on another new species, breeder. In addition to Pichu eggs, there are 2 other new species. So fast? Secretary Wen said in surprise. According to my understanding, it is not difficult to design a new creature, and the 2 new creatures are still from the hands of Lu Zong. Lu Sheng didn't deny it. Now my face is much thicker, and my face is not red and my heart is not jumping when I admit it. Secretary Wen looked around, moved in his heart, and asked, when will they hatch? At most half a month. Lu Sheng deliberately took more time to talk. In fact, according to the original gene editing, it is almost a week to be born. Half a month. That's right. Secretary Wen turned his head and said with a smile, 1 month from now, the International Academic Exchange Conference on Genetic Biology will be held in Yunhai City. At that time, as the host of Yunhai City, we need people who can support the scene. President Lu should be quite suitable. This. Lu Sheng's scalp tingled. That's an academic exchange. It's not a show, just go and show off a Pokémon. That is to go up to give a speech and exchange ideas with peers. Lu Sheng has a fart academic experience. Isn't it a shame to go up? I know the thoughts of you researchers, and don't want to spread your unique secret skills. Don't worry, you can just go up and walk through the scene at that time, and let the world see that there are also excellent biological companies in Yunhai City. Secretary Wen made up for Lu Sheng's hesitation and patted Lu Sheng's shoulder instead of promising. Lu Sheng nodded hard. As for him, when the time comes, depending on the situation, you mustn't force him to speak. First stabilize secretary Wen and others, and then get the discount. Next they went to see baby Pichu. Secretary Wen also has no resistance to Pichu, and bluntly said that the children in the family have also raised genetic organisms, but they are not as cute and sticky as Pichu's charm. Lu Sheng did not propose to send one to the secretary. At one point Pichu was basically booked. Second Secretary of Communications is not that kind of person, and if he does that, he will be disgusted. After sending Secretary Wen away, Huang Xiaoyu called. Mr. Lu, the company has another secretary. Lu Sheng was stunned and wondered, what do you mean? It's the secretary of the chairman of Zhanwang Group. His surname is Song. He's in the lounge of our company. I said, Mr. Lu, you and the distinguished guests went out. He asked me to inform me that Mr. Lu should come back soon, and his tone was very rude. Lu Sheng was delighted, and said, didn't Zhanwang Group just invest in Guli, and now come to me again, do you want to invest in our company again? Tell him that I'm not free in the morning, and he wants to see me again in the afternoon, and he doesn't have an appointment, so it's a ball. Zhanwang Group. Lu Sheng carefully recalls the business landscape of the parallel world. Among the top domestic companies, Zhanwang can be ranked, probably in the top 5. As an old-fashioned enterprise, Zhanwang Group started from real estate in the early days, and then engaged in various real fields. Huang Zhonggulan, the former chairman of Zhanwang Group, rose step by step, and even became the richest man in Longtang Kingdom for a period of time. A year ago, Huang Zhonggulan died of illness, and the position passed to the current chairman Huang Yutao. In the past, Zhanwang only engaged in real estate development, medical treatment, movies, etc., but after Huang Yutao succeeded to the throne, he was ambitious to enter the field of genetic biology. Huang Yutao was a well-known son in the country in the early days, and his girlfriend changed every 3 days. He was Zhang Yang, domineering, and often clashed with others when he disagreed. Huang Zhonggulan died of illness in his prime years. Huang Yutao is only in his early 30s. His style of behavior is very different from that of Huang Zhonggulan, and he has been criticized by many people. Originally, there were many people in the Zhanwang Group who opposed Huang Yutao. It is said that Huang Yutao finally suppressed the opposition. Half a year ago, Huang Yutao integrated the national channels and established the Yujin Alliance. Today, more than 60% of the major channel distributors and advertisers in the field of Longtengguo's genetic biology are in the hands of Huang Yutao. After that, Huang Yutao began to invest heavily in the acquisition of many domestic biotechnology companies, among which the Strong Company is one of Huang Yutao's handwritings. In just half a year, it is terrifying to spend tens of billions of funds. Now, Huang Yutao has set his sights on the Pokémon company. Lu Sheng didn't know the other party's purpose, but Huang Yutao had invested in a powerful company, so the two sides naturally had nothing to say. Secretary Song's attitude was not very good, so of course he had to put it aside. An hour later, Huang Xiaoyu called again. Mr. Lu, Secretary Song has left. He looks quite angry. He is always urging you in the company lounge. I said you were on your way back, he. The tone was full of playfulness and schadenfreude. Huang Xiaoyu was obviously annoyed by Secretary Song. Usually, she has a good temper and can talk to anyone in the company. Well done, I hope he won't be boring in the afternoon, just come to me again. Lu Sheng smiled and went to have lunch, and then went back to the company to rest slowly. Around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, there was a commotion outside. Xiaoyu, go and see what's going on. Lu Sheng frowned. Okay. Huang Xiaoyu trotted out, came back soon, and said with a bitter face, Mr. Lu, it's Secretary Song from the morning. Before he finished speaking, a man in glasses with his chin raised up stood at the door. Are you Lu Sheng? Secretary Song had no manners at all, and looked at Lu Sheng's face recklessly. Lu Sheng got up impatiently and said, Secretary Song. Is there anything you need to force your way into my company? Are all the people from your Grand Duke division so rude? Secretary Song said coldly. When I came in the morning, I had already given enough face, but Lu always disappeared on purpose, so I had to resort to this. I meet important guests in the morning, and you didn't make an appointment in advance. What can I do? Lu Sheng pouted. Secretary Song came to my company, what's the matter? Secretary Song walked into the office, took out a document, and threw it on Lu Sheng's desk. We, Mr. Huang, want to acquire your company. Fill in any number below 10 billion. The acquisition funds on the contract are blank and can be filled by Lu Sheng. Lu Sheng scolded the big dog, pushed the contract back, and said, I'm sorry, the company is not going to sell it to others. Even if it is 1 billion, many people can't earn it in a lifetime. Not to mention 10 billion, such a sky-high price. As long as Lu Sheng signs, he will be carefree for the rest of his life, and he can be a rich man. Huang Yutao is also a generous person. The first bid was directly thrown out at 10 billion. The confidence is not normal enough. Lu Sheng can also see some clues from the tens of billions of investment this time. Huang Yutao is indeed imperative to enter the field of genetic biology, with great courage and determination. Wow! Huang Xiaoyu was first taken aback by Secretary Song's generosity, and then was taken aback by Lu Sheng's refusal. Zhanwang Group is already fierce enough. Lu is always more fierce than the other party. If 10 billion says no, then don't. Bull man. When Huang Xiaoyu heard the sky-high figure just now, his heartbeat accelerated several times, and it quickly reached his throat. Don't want. Secretary Song raised his brows and was very surprised. Mr. Lu, our President Huang said that the highest price is 10 billion, don't even think about bargaining. Why do I have to sell? We, Mr. Huang, talked about this with the director of the evaluation agency at the banquet yesterday. The director said that billions of dollars can be bought at will, huh? Secretary Song changed the topic, and seemed to be talking about the valuation behind the scenes, but he was actually implying that Lu Sheng. We, Mr. Huang, have a close relationship with evaluation agencies. We do not sell companies. Be careful, we will play you. Ah. Lu Sheng sighed. Have you Zhanwang Group always acted arrogantly? If you can kill me, just try. With the support of Secretary Song and Chief Shi, I was afraid of a hammer. Longteng Kingdom is the most taboo in collusion between officials and businessmen. They must dare to play. Lu Sheng is not afraid to tear his face with them. Presumably the director of the evaluation agency dare not mess around. Lu Sheng didn't want to tell Secretary Wen about the visit, just to see if the other side was stupid enough. If you really want to use the evaluation agency card to review, you don't mind giving the other side a slap. Secretary Song didn't know that Secretary Wen had been here this morning. Seeing that he couldn't scare Lu Sheng, he patted the contract on the table. You don't seem to be very smelling salts. Think about it carefully. The person who knows the current affairs is Junji. I will give you 3 days, and I hope that the next time you come, you can have a satisfactory answer. And swagger away. Stupid guy. Lu Sheng stared at the other party's back and threw the contract into the trash. When other people come to talk about business, even if they have bad intentions, they should sit down with a smile and talk softly to you. This Secretary Song has enough personality, and once he comes, he puts on a posture of, I am the only one in the sky and the earth, which can be called moron. Secretary Song is afraid that he has been with Huang Yutao for a long time. He is influenced by Huang Yutao and doesn't know how to write the words, harmony generates wealth. It is also possible that the Zhanwang Group is much stronger than the Pokémon Company, so it is so arrogant and unreasonable. If the other party thinks that everything can be achieved with a tough attitude, they are afraid that they will smash their heads in blood in Lu Sheng. Mr. Road. Huang Xiaoyu called out in a low voice. What's wrong? Lu Sheng regained his senses. That's 10 billion, why don't you blink? Huang Xiaoyu admired Lu Sheng's steadfastness and refused him without hesitation. Lu Sheng came to the window, put his hands behind his back, and looked into the distance. For me, the company I founded and the Pichu I designed myself are priceless treasures. 10 billion is nothing, and 100 billion is useless. The key is that technology cannot be transferred, and others want to buy his technology, not a shell company. Huang Xiaoyu's nose was sour, and he fell to the ground in admiration again. Pick up. Inside the big villa, Lu Sheng was stepped on by Pikachu Gigi early in the morning. Gigi. He opened his eyes helplessly. Gigi leaned in front of him, with wide watery eyes, innocent and weak. Pika. Gigi slapped her belly. Okay, I'll get up right away. you little thing, didn't you eat supper last night? You said you were hungry again in the morning, aren't you afraid of growing into a pickup pig in the future? Lu Sheng pushed aside Gigi angrily and turned over to get up. Looking at the time, he couldn't help shouting, "It's only 8 o'clock in the morning, you fool, I knew I shouldn't have brought you home and let you stay in the laboratory." Pick up, tilde. Gigi rubbed against Lu Sheng's arms. Forget it, I can't stand you. Every time I say you, I pretend to be pitiful. Luckily, Lu Sheng eats this one. If he finds a girlfriend who can charm like Gigi in the future, Lu Sheng suspects that he will be eaten to death. Gigi is not old now, her intelligence is not low, and she can often act according to her face. Lu Sheng went to wash Su. Gigi also tore off a small towel, dipped it in water, and carefully smeared it on the face. Little fool, I really love cleanliness. Lu Sheng was amused by Gigi's appearance, and his anger disappeared all of a sudden when he got up. In the past few days, I was woken up by Gigi every day, and I gradually got used to having a Pikachu as my company. After breakfast, Lu Sheng saw that it was still early, rolled his eyes, and picked up Pikachu who wanted to escape from the table. You can't train less every morning, but I want to train you to be the most powerful Pikachu. Gigi struggled in Lu Sheng's hands, making a childish protest. Lu Sheng smiled and said, I know, although you only have one Pikachu now, but what about in the future? If you don't practice now, be careful that you will be surpassed by other Pikachu in the future. We call it a rainy day. Regardless of how Gigi resisted, Lu Sheng took Gigi to the backyard for morning exercises. First, I practiced a wave of thunderbolt, and then I was not very skilled in quick attack. The last time Gigi almost didn't dodge, the proficiency was a little worse. Two skills are mastered actively after it evolves, and the other skills need to be slowly developed by Lu Sheng. Can you use the Iron Tail skill? Just use your tail, yes, throw it out. Hey, it's not like that, it's soft, and it's not lethal. I think, you should concentrate some kind of ability on the tail to become Orberg normal, I remember to light up. Under the guidance of Lu Sheng slowly, Gigi tried a dozen times and finally got some results. I saw the onlookers from Gigi's tail, and, pop, it was drawn to the wooden target. The target is torn apart. Nice job. Lu Sheng waved his fist, feeling full of accomplishment. Pick up. Gigi patted her little belly to claim credit. Okay, you can't do without your freeze-dried. After feeding the snack, and repeating it a few more times, Pikachu Gigi gradually mastered a new ability, the Tail of Orberg. Skills are innate to Pokémon. Even if Lu Sheng doesn't teach him at the moment, one day Gigi will find that the tail is very useful, and he will gradually become proficient in using Iron Tail with more use. Just as mice are born to burrow, cats have hunting instincts. Do you want to train before little Pichu sends him off? Lu Sheng was considering whether to go out in person and become a trainer. It's getting closer to the day when the first batch of Pichu is sent away. According to the previous pre-order statement, about a month after the pre-order, wait for the payment to be sent there. Less than 20 days left. After 9 o'clock, Lu Sheng took Gigi out. The house is in a villa area. Along the way, we could see many rich people walking their pets, and someone stopped Lu Sheng's car with a wave. Mr. Lu, good morning. The person who waved was a young man. Lu Sheng thought for a moment before he remembered who this person was. The second-generation rich, surnamed Lin, who lived in the same villa area, had met with Lu Sheng several times before, and the relationship was neither cold nor cold. Mr. Lin, good morning. Lu Sheng lowered the window and nodded with a smile. Mr. Lin glanced at the Pikachu in the car and exclaimed, is this the Pikachu? It's an amazing achievement, haha, after my girlfriend watched the video 2 days ago, she always wanted me to buy one and keep it back. Is this only 300,000? Lu Sheng shook his head and said, no, I don't sell this Pikachu. If it is a Pichu, it is indeed 300,000 yuan. Pichu. Also, can Mr. Lu sell it to me all the time? Money is not a problem. There was a girl next to Mr. Lin, her eyes were flashing, and her mouth made slight movements, teasing Gigi. Pika tilde, Gigi also made a cute sale at the right time. Wow, so cute, I really want to keep one. Girls scream. Many people were attracted by silence and gathered around. After seeing Pikachu, they looked down at the pet in their arms, and they felt that it was not fragrant all of a sudden. Is that Pikachu? So Lu Sheng from the Pokemon Company lives in the same place with us. He is that Lu Sheng. So young, my daughter is the right age for him. For the first time, many people know that there is a person named Lu Sheng in the villa. Or rather, noticed for the first time. Many people have seen Lu Sheng before. Everyone is in a villa area, and they often meet when walking in the evening. When Grandpa Lu Sheng was alive, many people were familiar with them. It's just that Lu Sheng was inconspicuous before, and although he looks good, his fame and status are not worthy of deep friendship with others. Now Lu Sheng is a celebrity and Pokemon is the talk of many people. For example, Mr. Lin just now, gradually thought that there seemed to be this number of people in the villa. Mr. Lu, I want a Pichu too. I don't know how to sell it. Someone else asked. No one is short of money to live in this villa area. I'm sorry, everyone, the reservations are now complete. If you want, you can go to my channel to reserve one first. When the Pichu hatches again, you can buy it first. Lu Sheng hoped that there would be no messing around. Fortunately, everyone's attitude was good, and they expressed regret after receiving the reply. Cough, can Mr. Lu add a WeChat? Look, if there is an amount in the future, you can notify me in time. Mr. Lin and his girlfriend were still lingering beside the car, hesitating for a long time before saying another purpose. Add friend. When the others heard it, they also expressed their desire to be friends. They are not fuel-efficient lamps and know the importance of connections. Befriend a young man with an illegitimate future, and you may be able to become friends in the future, and you can brag about it with your friends no matter how bad it is. Okay, let me add Mr. Lin. You can ask Mr. Lin for my number. I have other things to do in the morning, so I won't chat with you too much. Lu Sheng opened the QR code, Mr. Lin scanned the code, and the addition was successful. The rest of the people went to Mr. Zhaolin to push, and Lu Sheng waved his hand and drove away. I didn't expect that after I became famous, a rich man in the villa area began to notice me. Lu Sheng smiled. In the past, no one paid attention when I went out. It was very quiet when I lived alone. In the future, I am afraid that I will be noticed when I go out, and people will stop by from time to time. It can be said that it is very realistic. Lu Sheng would not resist just because they made friends with a purpose. The residents of the villa area are either rich or expensive, and they may be able to use them in the future. In the morning, Lu Sheng went to the company to deal with the affairs, mainly interviewing candidates for several key positions. Some relatively basic positions are directly thrown to personnel and management to deal with. In the afternoon, Lu Sheng went to the laboratory. He wanted to give the Pichus a wave of training, but when he saw Pichu's cute little ones, they were not very old, so that's fine. Gigi returned to the Pichu group like a big boss. It zips through Pichu, showing off a skill he only learned in the morning, Iron Tail. Pick up. The first Pikachu Gigi's tail lit up and swept to a stone just erected ahead. Snapped. The stone was torn apart. Pichu Pichu. Yeah. Some of the little Pichus were frightened, while others cheered and touched their little tails. When they also wanted to try, they found that Iron Tail could not be done, and they were downcast and whispered. What? Gigi's tail. Zhou Churan and several people watched it from the side, and their faces were full of doubts. They didn't take offense to Lu Sheng, and immediately guessed that Lu Sheng knew about it in advance. A new ability that was only trained in the morning. Lu Sheng flicked Gigi's little head and said, "This guy can't wait to show off to the little Pichus." Train. Zhou Churan said in astonishment. I know that there is a trend of trainers all over the world now, and everyone is in the groping stage. How can I feel that the results of Gigi's training are special? Okay. Lu Sheng touched the dejected little Pichus in front of him, and said with a smile, "Don't be discouraged. You won't be using Iron Tail now. It's because you're not familiar with it. You can master this ability with more practice in the future. Pichu and Pikachu share some skills. Pichu grows up a little bit, I believe he can learn Iron Tail too." Yiyaya. Little Pichu regained his composure and began to fiddle with his little tail. Lu Sheng laughed dumbly. It seems that their best teacher is Gigi, and with Gigi taking the lead, they realize their untapped abilities. If you rely on Gigi to drive. Lu Sheng had a brilliant idea. Originally I thought about actively training Pichu, but now I don't need it. As long as Gigi can take the lead and become their instructor. No, after all, Pikachu is somewhat different from Pichu. If a Pichu can be trained as an instructor. Lu Sheng had a whim. There is a very simple reason. After animals are born, if they are taught by their parents, they will gradually master the advantages of their own race. After a kitten is born, if there are brothers and sisters around, they will act as hunters and prey for each other in the process of playing. Stalking, chasing, and knocking down siblings, all hunt and mimic. Gradually master survival skills by learning from companions. Pichu can certainly do the same. With a companion to guide, it must be faster to master the skills. While Lu Sheng was thinking, the phone in his pocket was ringing. Taking a look, it turned out to be the bank's manager Chen calling. Hey, Manager Chen, what's the matter with you? The last time the two were in touch was during the exhibition. Manager Chen changed his decision and said that he could apply for a loan for Lu Sheng, and 100 million yuan was not a problem. Lu Sheng guessed that it should be the reason for the loan. Mr. Lu, about the loan I mentioned last time, haha, congratulations to President Lu. The above suddenly said that they can give you the upper limit of 500 million, and give President Lu the most favorable repayment strategy. Oh. Lu Sheng's heart moved, thinking of the last meeting with Secretary Wen. Most likely it was Secretary Wen who did a little favor. The 500 million loan can not only solve urgent needs, but also be used for rapid expansion. What Lu Sheng lacks most at the moment is funds. The loan seems to be quite a lot, but the value of Lu Sheng's company is far more than that, and it is reasonable for the bank to give 500 million. What's more, with support from above, it's normal to give more. Is Mr. Lu free now? I'll wait for you here. I can explain to you more specifically. Manager Chen's attitude has been very low, treating Lu Sheng as a big customer. Well, I'll be there later. What documents do I need to bring? Lu Sheng wanted to get this loan quickly, and the expansion of the laboratory was the top priority. You need to bring the company's business license, account opening permit, tax registration certificate, asset certificate under the company's name, personal account book. Manager Chen said a lot, for fear that Lu Sheng would not be able to remember, and finally said, I will send a message to Mr. Lu later, and Mr. Lu will tell me anything he doesn't understand. Hang up first. Lu Sheng put away his mobile phone. Zhou Churan and others were curious. He explained, Bank manager, inform me that I can get a loan. Zhou Churan asked, how much? With the current potential of the company, there is no need to worry about not being able to repay the loan. Lu Sheng stretched out a hand and said, 500 million. 500 million. Several people exclaimed. This loan is scary enough. If it is not a last resort, they are reluctant to borrow from the bank, and the feeling of being in debt is not very good. Lu Sheng smiled lightly. Go back and get this money. Our laboratory should also change, and your salary, everyone will increase by at least 50%. Hee, thank you Mr. Lu. Boss Lu is mighty. Several laboratory personnel smiled. Talking about the pursuit of ideals is all false, only money is real. This is what you deserve. After the laboratory is expanded, it will still be in charge of Chu Ran, and the positions of you guys will also be mentioned. Lu Sheng didn't mind drawing a pie with them. After all, he really wanted to promote a few people and train them into the most loyal backbones of the future laboratory. Lu Sheng went to the bank with some documents. Gigi squatted on Lu Sheng's shoulder, attracting more attention than Lu Sheng himself. What is that? Like Pichu? No, it's Pikachu. Is this Lu Sheng from the Pokémon company? After they met Pikachu, they immediately thought of Lu Sheng himself. Now Pikachu has almost become a Pokémon company, and many people have seen it online. Because the shape is different from most genetic organisms, everyone can recognize it at first sight, and the discrimination is particularly high. Mr. Lu, you are here. Manager Chen came forward with a smile on his face. Unlike the last time, Lu Sheng's Pokémon company has now become Shangmomo. If Manager Chen is not willing to lend, other banks are also very happy. Today, I told Manager Chen that Lu Sheng's loan amount could be increased to 500 million yuan. Manager Chen immediately realized the importance and contacted Lu Sheng immediately after hanging up. Well, I brought the information, how should I say? Lu Sheng asked. Let's go inside and talk. Manager Chen waved a salesman and brought Lu Sheng to the inner room. After Lu Sheng's materials were submitted, the salesman began to review them, and Manager Chen chatted with Lu Sheng, almost. About half an hour later, I got a form for Lu Sheng to fill out. Many of the above materials have been done by the salesman, and Lu Sheng wrote it casually and submitted it soon. Mr. Lu, the application has been submitted, and I will give you a message within a day or two. Manager Chen collected the information. He has to submit it for review when he goes back, although he knows that it is 100% passed, this step is still indispensable. Well, then I'm leaving. Lu Sheng took the documents and left with Gigi. Manager Chen opened his mouth and wanted to invite Lu Sheng to dinner at night. Hey, I knew I shouldn't have offended this guy in the first place. The bank passed the audit faster than Manager Song expected. The next day Lu Sheng had received a message from the bank. The 500 million loan will be issued to the Pokémon company account within 48 hours. At the same time, Secretary Wen also called and told Lu Sheng another good news. Once a biotechnology company in Yunhai City could not continue, the laboratory under the company's name was ready to be transferred. As long as Lu Sheng pays 80 million at a time, he can buy a large area, including many instruments. Lu Sheng originally planned to replan a place and start the construction again, but now there is a ready-made laboratory, which is better. With Secretary Yaoan in the middle, Lu Sheng met with the boss of the company and went to the laboratory for a walk. Compared with Pokémon's laboratory, it is much larger in scale, accounting for at least 5 times the ground area, and the instruments inside are more sophisticated. There are 800 medium and small culture tanks, 100 large culture tanks, and 10 super large culture tanks. They are all 70 or 80% new and will last for many years. It's just a culture tank. If you buy a new batch, you will need at least 30 to 50 million. Second-hand sales are also worth 2 or 3 million. The rest of the 8 combined, 80 million is not much. Boss son, I want this laboratory, but the money may have to wait for 2 days, and I have to wait for the bank's loan to be issued. Lu Sheng only had a few million on hand, not enough to stick his teeth between his teeth. No problem. Boss son is a Mediterranean man. Standing in front of the huge laboratory, he sighed. I originally wanted to sell it to Zhongwang Group, but the price there was too low. Fortunately, Secretary Wen appeared in time, so that I would not lose too much. The establishment of the laboratory cost more than 100 million yuan, how can I imagine that it only takes a year? Is boss son at a loss for the company? Or is there an urgent need for the funds? Lu Sheng asked curiously. Both sides. Boss son smiled bitterly. Everyone knows that the field of genetic biology is easy to make money, everyone's quality of life has improved, and they have spare money to raise a pet or something. However, this industry is not easy to do, and the investment is high, let alone new ideas, it's too difficult. Not everyone thinks that Mr. Lu is so young and promising to be able to design Pichu, I really envy my brother. Boss son spoke his mind. This time, the secretary mentioned this matter, and boss son was also willing to sell it to Lu Sheng at a relatively high price, so as to meet a potential young man. Good luck. Lu Sheng said modestly. How can I be lucky, Tisk? My brother hired a biological designer with a lot of money, and his mother has also worked in the Grand Duke department abroad, and the degree is different, but the result is not very useful. Boss son wondered. I heard that Mr. Lu didn't study after university, right? Look, there is a difference in people's talents. A talented designer like my brother doesn't need further study or fake degree certificate. Strength. Lu Sheng blushed when boss son praised him. Big brother, listen to me, it's not my genius, it's the system. By the way, brother, have you ever thought about licensing? Some Grand Duke companies in the market concentrate on research, sell biological seeds, and make a lot of money while lying down. Other companies can only make hard money. Boss son coughed lightly. I know a friend who works as a sales channel. He has a very large factory. If my brother follows this model, I can introduce you to one or two. Lu Sheng chuckled. It seems that boss son was also asked by a friend to come to consult. In the past, Lu Sheng's company used a similar model to buy other people's genetic biological clocks. The big head is taken away by others, and the company can only drink some soup. In the end, Lu Sheng did not give Boss Sun a clear answer, only that he had no similar ideas for the time being. The next morning, Lu Sheng had just finished interviewing 2 lab staff when he heard some noise. Gigi. Lu Sheng called out to Gigi, who was lying on the table playing with small toys, and went out to take a look. It's that brain-dead thing again. He rolled his eyes and cursed impatiently. The only person who can be called a brain-dead by Lu Sheng is of course the Secretary Song of the Zhanwang group. Lu Sheng just remembered that before Secretary Song left the last time, he boldly said that he would only give Lu Sheng 3 days to consider the time, and it was almost over. Last time, Lu Sheng scolded the front desk a few words for Secretary Song's intrusion. The front desk performed well today and stopped Secretary Song at the door, but the 2 female employees at the front desk were miserable. Fortunately, other employees rushed to hear the sound and calmed Secretary Song. Do you know who I am? I'm the secretary of the chairman of the Zhanwang group. A good dog is not a dog. Get out of the way. You can't offend me, and neither can your company offend the Zhanwang group. Secretary Song is as strong and arrogant as ever. Wong Wong Wong. He also brought a genetic creature dog with him, grinning. As long as the master gives an order, the purple genetic creature dog will rush forward without hesitation. Seaweed dog. Lu Sheng recognized the origin of the purple dog. Has a strong bite force, as well as a super strong dive ability, has long hairy seaweed normal hair, likes to bask in the sun, absorbs the ultraviolet rays in the sun. One of the genetic creatures currently on the market that is exclusively used in naval combat during gladiatorial combat. A single price is tens of thousands. This seaweed dog of Secretary Song looks good, loyal to the owner, with an amazing bite force, and the stacked hair of the seaweed normal forms an effective armor. Gigi, you hide first, and I'll tell you to come out later. Lu Sheng thought about it, patted Gigi's little head, and motioned for it to hide. Gigi didn't understand Lu Sheng's operation very well, but she still followed Lu Sheng's instructions and hid behind a table, stuck out her little head slightly, and paid attention to the movement ahead. Lu Sheng checked it again and made sure that Gigi could not be seen from Secretary Song's direction, so he coughed lightly and walked out. Secretary Song, why are you making noise in my company? He seemed to find the seaweed dog only after walking in, as if he was taken a step back. Seeing this scene, Secretary Song smiled proudly. Lu Sheng, are you ready for the contract that I asked you to sign 3 days ago? Mr. Huang's patience is not as sufficient as mine. It is your honor to acquire your company for 10 billion yuan. Many employees in the company pricked up their ears to eavesdrop. The sky-high price of 10 billion scared everyone. Zhanwang Group will use 10 billion to acquire the company. God, big news. If I give them 10 billion, I will definitely promise. Except for Lu Sheng, Huang Xiaoyu also knew about the incident that day. Lu Sheng didn't let Huang Xiaoyu spread the word. If everyone knew that he had offended the Zhanwang group, it might affect the working atmosphere. Oh, that contract, after you left, you threw it in the trash can. I guess you might be able to find it at the garbage collection station. What am I? Does Secretary Song understand human language? If you, Mr. Huang, can come up with 110 billion yuan, I can consider 1 or 2. 110 billion yuan is too little. Lu Sheng looked disgusted. If you can't show it, don't be a BB in our company, get out of here, and don't delay my employees from going to work. Secretary Song got angry and shouted. Lu Sheng, what do you think you are? You are lucky to have a skill. Now you dare to challenge our Zhanwang group, right? What are you? It's just a dog of Huang Yuteo, don't bark in front of me. Lu Sheng not only shouted loudly, but also pushed Secretary Song. Roar. The seaweed barked its teeth and threatened Lu Sheng. A stinky dog is yelling on my side, get out. Lu Sheng turned to the taunt seaweed dog and gestured with his middle finger in person. Wong. The seaweed dog was the first to be provoked and pounced on Lu Sheng. Although Secretary Song was annoyed, he did not want to take the initiative to instruct the seaweed dog to bite. I brought my pets here today, mainly to put some pressure on Lu Sheng and want Lu Sheng to speak more interestingly. How do you think Lu Sheng is stronger than him? Now that the pet rushed forward to bite, Secretary Song could stop it, but he didn't want to do that. Lu Sheng must suffer. A look of joy flashed in Secretary Song's eyes, waiting for the dog to fall down on Lu Sheng, and then he would come forward to stop him. In this way, even if the police station is troubled, there is a wording. It is not because he took the initiative to order the dog to attack, and he cannot be blamed. At the same time, it is impossible to blame the dog to stop the next mouth before the dog bites. At this moment, Secretary Song heard Lu Sheng roar, "Gigi, Thunderbolt." A yellow shadow flickers into play from behind. Secretary Song groaned in his heart, and a thunderbolt hit the seaweed dog. Ouch! The seaweed dog wailed and fell to the ground twitching. Lu Sheng showed a triumphant smile and breathed a sigh of relief. Secretary Song wanted to plot against Lu Sheng, but he didn't expect that Lu Sheng was plotting against him too. The company has surveillance video, and the seaweed dog tried to attack just now, although the result did not appear, but Gigi belongs to the self-defense of the owner, and the responsibility lies with the seaweed dog. Baby! Secretary Song exclaimed and leaned over to check the seaweed dog's injury. The seaweed dog was dying and was pulled out on the ground, and the air was still filled with the smell of barbecue. Lu Sheng was powerless to complain. What the hell is it called? Oh, Secretary Song, don't blame me. Why did your seaweed dog suddenly attack me? I just reacted instinctively. Lu Sheng pretended to be embarrassed and said, I just forgot to tell you, Pikachu is in my company, you should be optimistic about your seaweed dog. Lu Sheng. Secretary Song's eyes were red. Hurry up and take your pet to the hospital, maybe it can be rescued. Lu Sheng jokingly said, Tisk, last time Pikachu also used a dog for barbecue, and now there is another one. You wait for me. Secretary Song asked his companions to pick up the seaweed dog and swear words. Lu Sheng waved his hand and said, Don't forget to turn around and tell you, Mr. Huang, that I don't plan to sell the company, so don't bother me again. Secretary Song trembled with anger. The bank's loan was quickly released to the company's account. After Lu Sheng received the money, he immediately got in touch with Sun Yang, whom he had negotiated with last time, and formally signed a contract with Sun Yang, transferring 80 million yuan and winning the ownership of the laboratory. The location of the laboratory is relatively remote, and it is not particularly convenient to go back and forth in the future, but the place is large enough to meet the development needs of Lu Sheng in the early stage. Pleasant to work with. Lu Sheng ordered someone to keep the contract and shook hands with Sun Yang warmly. Pleasant to work with. Sun Yang turned back reluctantly, glanced at the laboratory one last time, and left without looking back. Half an hour later, Lu Sheng returned to the company's old laboratory and announced the matter. Immediately, everyone in the laboratory cheered. This heralds a new phase for the company, where it no longer has to work in the small labs of the past. Chu Ran, I'll take you to the new laboratory tomorrow, and you'll be responsible for bringing people to move there. As for this, it doesn't need to be discarded, it can still be used, and arrangements will be made at that time. Lu Sheng was considering a candidate when someone came in excitedly from outside. Mr. Lu, supervisor, the eggs are hatching. Hatched. The crowd laughed. Double happiness. Lu Sheng stopped talking and couldn't wait to go to the incubation room with everyone. Inside the incubator, there are cute little creatures breaking through the eggshell. Not only are the Pichu eggs moving, the Squirtle eggs are shaking too, and the shells are cracked. Crack. A piece of eggshell fell off. It wasn't Pichu who burst out of the shell first, it was Squirtle. The little blue figure, whose eyes have not yet opened, came out of the eggshell, and the round body shrank into a ball. Wow! Cute. A turtle. What a cute little G-head. So smooth, with blue skin. Everyone gathered around Squirtle's incubator, watching. Lu Sheng saw the Pokémon shell smash process for the first time, and was pleased. Looks like another batch of healthy babies. The little ones may be hungry. Find some nutrients and try them out. Everyone started to get busy. Lu Sheng gave a similar value when setting the shell smash speed gene. This batch of Pokémon eggs was not inspected for more than 2 hours before and after. Lu Sheng also helped with feeding. Pichu and Squirtle all came out shell smash, but Charmander's eggs were shaking, but there was no shell smash trend. Just as Lu Sheng hesitated to help Charmander, cracks appeared on the surface of the eggshell. Soon, the eggshell shattered, and a red Dawn's head stuck out and fell beside the eggshell. Yeah, a new creature came out. What type? Looks like a lizard. How does it feel like the blue turtle's brother, another Don head? Everyone was speechless. Why are the two new creatures newly designed by Lu Zong, all with bald heads? The little one looks cute and a little silly. Don head. Lu Sheng was quite speechless when he heard everyone's comments. There are Don heads protruding from the eggshell, and the picture is indeed a bit emotional. After the new batch of Pokémon eggs hatched, the cute little creatures were fed and sent to the biological nursery room, adjusted to the appropriate temperature, and carefully cared for. Lu Sheng participated in the whole process. Pikachu Gigi looked curiously on the side, handed everyone bottles and towels from time to time. After a few hours, they gradually opened their eyes, full of curiosity about the world. When Lu Sheng extracted the genetic code, the first element he designed for each Pokémon was closeness to humans. The little guys sensed the taste of intimacy from human beings, babbled, rubbed with their little heads. Zhou Churan and others were once again cute. It's such a cute little guy. It hurts my heart to think that they will be separated from us in the future. Zhou Churan is feeding a blue Don head, and when he talks about this topic, his eyes are slightly rosy. The time for the first batch of Pichu to be sent away is getting closer and closer, and the laboratory staff and the little Pichu get along day and night, somewhat reluctant. Lu Sheng was silent. No way, for the company's development, it must be so. The only thing that can be done is to protect the Pokémon as much as possible. Under the comfort of little Squirtle, Zhou Churan's mood gradually improved, and he couldn't help saying, "By the way, Mr. Lu, you said that they have special abilities, what could it be? Isn't that obvious? One is a turtle, the other is a dragon, and the corresponding basic abilities are naturally water and fire." Lu Sheng was holding Charmander in his arms. He had just eaten and was sleeping soundly. It's strange to say that Charmander's tail originally had a small flame, but it hasn't appeared yet. I don't know if it was just born. If Lu Sheng remembers correctly, the flame on Charmander's tail represents his own vitality. Just now he almost thought that Charmander was going to die, but after checking, Charmander's heartbeat was still there, and he could eat and drink. Maybe it has something to do with the culture environment in the laboratory. Huh. It's a dragon. Zhou Churan looked Charmander up and down and wondered, looks like a fat lizard. If there is no dragon in the world, the road always uses lizard genes, right? The rest of the people nodded in agreement. Well, it's almost the same. Isn't there a company in the West that has created a dragon genetic organism? It's not much different anyway. Seeing their questioning eyes, Lu Sheng explained, I know what you're thinking, why the genetic creature dragon created by others has big wings, but it doesn't. Don't forget Pichu, do you understand evolution? There is indeed a powerful Grand Duke in the West, breeder, who has used genetic dragons, using a variety of genes to fuse together to create a behemoth. There was even a black genetic creature dragon that escaped from the laboratory and rushed into the wild, often seen by hunters who entered the mountains. Evolution. Can it grow wings? Will it become a large genetic creature in the future? Everyone was interested in Charmander, touched his feet, looked at his back, and still thought he looked like a fat lizard. Certainly, I believe that the little thing will not be weaker than any genetic creature dragon in the future. Lu Sheng is confident. As long as you can brush out the advanced pills and take 2 pills, isn't Charizard there? After the last incident, the Zhanwang group stopped, and Secretary Song did not find fault again. A few days later, Lu Sheng submitted an application for review to the review body again, this time without choosing to rush. However, on the day when the review application was submitted, a phone call immediately came from above, and it would be dispatched to the laboratory as soon as possible. Lu Sheng guessed that there is a high probability that the evaluation agency has received wind and treated Pokémon Company specially. It may also be the Zhanwang group. He suddenly thought of Secretary Song's previous threatening words. At that time, the reason why I didn't tell Secretary Song that the company had the support of the mayor of Yunhai City was because Lu Sheng had a bad stomach and wanted to face him. It's been a long time since things have happened, and there's still no movement there. Lu Sheng can't help but wonder if this audit will be tricky. The time comes to the next day. Yunhai City Evaluation Agency. Number 118 Auditor Wang Ji, and several other auditors got a form. Hey, yesterday's application form. Why did it get sent to us today? It's more difficult to submit an application for review recently. Everyone is busy looking through it. Stupid, don't you look at the company name, Pokemon Company, the company that has been explained above, the company that is the most important thing to take care of. Oh, no wonder, I didn't see the company name just now. After a few people browsed the application form, they gradually understood. Everyone has been busy lately. If the application is not expedited, normal will be postponed until 4 or 5 days later. Even if it is expedited, it will take 3 days to review, because there are not enough staff in the evaluation agency. So when there is a special case, everyone will be confused. When it was discovered that it was the Pokemon Company that recently gained fame, everyone understood. New biological evaluation review. I remember it was only a month since the last time. Wang Ji recalled the first time she went to the Pokemon Company to review the scene. At that time, she had a small conflict with Lu Sheng, and now she recalled that her face was hot and embarrassed. It's not because the mouthpiece lost to Lu Sheng at the time, but because Lu Sheng is now an international celebrity. The Pokemon Company is well known at home and abroad, and some people talk about touching porcelain on the internet. The wind has changed so much. Wang Ji had also read some analysis, and the contradiction between Ji Yuli's words gradually made her suspicious. Like many netizens, she began to believe in Lu Sheng. After all, it's Lu Sheng. Everyone, let's look forward to the new species that will be reviewed today. I heard that it also has special abilities. According to Pichu's speciality, 80% of them have evolutionary genes. One of the reviewers said excitedly, I wonder if the new species will be as cute as Pichu. It would be nice if the price could be cheaper. I really want to buy a Pichu, but it's too expensive. Wang Ji took over the conversation. If you see Lu Sheng later, you can propose to him to make a simple version, without the ability to click, without the need to evolve genes, maybe the price can be greatly discounted. There are some bio companies that do this. Remove some special abilities and change from Deluxe Edition to Simple Edition, and the price will be relatively much lower. Good idea, let's go. The auditor clapped his hands in agreement. It seems, a new laboratory. Wang Ji noticed the information in the address bar, and immediately felt that, this time is different from the past. When he went to the audit for the first time, Wang Ji was emotionally disgusted. The second time, there was a little expectation. A crowd arrives at the door of the Pokemon Company's new lab. Wang Ji saw a familiar security guard. It's just different from the last time, it's no longer lazy, but the spirit of the contest condition is excellent, the figure is tall and straight, and the number of people has also increased. On the door is written, Pokemon Company Laboratory 2. The overall area of ground is several times larger than that of Laboratory No. 1. After Wang Ji and others notified their intentions, they entered the laboratory. A woman came out to meet a group of people and led them to the breeder room. Where's your boss? Wang Ji asked abruptly. After asking the question, she was taken aback. The last time she had a conflict with others, why did she still think about others? Mr. Lu is in breeder's room, teaching the first batch of Pichu. The staff smiled mysteriously. Class. Wang Ji and the others wondered. Well, the first batch of Pichu is about to be sent out. Mr. Lu intends to pick a smart Pichu to keep and become a Pichu coach in the future. When the staff talked about it, the corners of his mouth couldn't help but raise. It's very interesting anyway. Little Pichu is concentrating on practicing. You'll know when you see it. Wang Ji and the others looked at each other in dismay. Pichu, coach. Why doesn't it feel right? Wang Ji thought of the intelligence of the Pichus, all of them were relatively high. I heard that they performed unexpectedly at the exhibition, causing an overheat discussion on the internet. Everyone came to the breeder room and saw on the spacious ground, each Pichu, which had grown bigger than a long time ago, was staring at the only Pikachu, looking upright and studying hard. Pikachu Gigi has a naive head, his mouth reads, Pika Pika, his short hand gestures in front of him, and a burst of electricity erupts from his body. Not quite the same as thunder shock, the electric current on Pikachu's body is more finely divided and accumulates around the body, forming ripples. Thunder Wave. Gigi recently learned a new move under the training of Lu Sheng, and it was used to teach Pichu how to use it in the past 2 days. Ya. Pichu huddled together and started to try again. The previous few times, they all failed. Puff. Some Pichu directly sent out a current and fell on his companion. Wang Ji and the others exclaimed, but the Pichu, who was hit by the electric current, was totally fine. Pichu has the lightning rod ability and is not afraid of electricity. Pick up tilde. Gigi scratched her cheek with her short hand, and confided to Lu Sheng helplessly, as if she was telling Lu Sheng that they were a bunch of idiots. Lu Sheng probably understood the meaning, and knocked Gigi's head angrily. When training Gigi a few days ago, Lu Sheng put a lot of effort into accusing his younger siblings. Pichu. A Pichu suddenly burst out with a similar current. Lu Sheng noticed the Pichu at once. The other Pichus around him were also affected, and thunder waves burst out from their bodies. Mr. Lu, have they learned it? Zhou Churan was surprised and happy. Lu Sheng nodded lightly. A few of them have learned for the time being. Let them share their experiences later. It will be faster to learn from each other. The Pichu who learned first was called Mian. It was a more intelligent and eager to learn Pichu. Usually, Gigi was in class, and it was counted as the most serious. Lu Sheng decided to choose Mian, and the coaching responsibilities will be handed over to Mian in the future. Can you really teach? I've only heard trainers teach genetic creatures, but I've never seen genetic creatures teach genetic creatures. They have high intelligence. Several auditors including Wang Ji were all surprised. Every time he hears or sees Lu Sheng, he always does something unexpected. It seems that he is full of secrets and can bring many fresh ideas. Gigi, keep training your younger siblings. Lu Sheng rewarded Gigi with a snack. Gigi was holding it and chewing there, and the little Pichus also rolled around happily for small snacks. Good morning, everybody. Seeing Wang Ji coming again, Lu Sheng wondered in his heart that Wang Ji would not come to find fault this time, right? The two met only the last time, and the misunderstanding with Wang Ji has not been resolved since then. Not to mention that Wang Ji would feel embarrassed when he came to see Lu Sheng, and Lu Sheng felt uncomfortable when he saw Wang Ji. The new species for everyone to review this time is called Squirtle. Lu Sheng took them to the nursery area. Plop plop. Wang Ji and several others heard the sound of water slapping. Lu Sheng said with a smile, they like water. Fortunately, the laboratory comes with a pool, and they can stay underwater all day. A group of people came to a cistern and saw blue dawn heads. In the middle of the cistern, there is a large raised rock with many dawn heads resting on their stomachs. Turtle. Wang Ji and others identified the type at once. Suddenly, among the many blue dawn heads, a red dawn head appeared. Lizard. Wang Ji and others stared. It was a new species again. Before they came, they thought that there was only one new creature in the Pokémon company, but a strange little guy appeared, and its tail. There was actually a small flame. That's the Charmander, there's only one, and it's not for sale, so you don't need to review it. Lu Sheng looked at the flames on Charmander's tail, a little bigger than yesterday. When it was born, there was no flame on its tail, and it started to catch fire the next day. At that time, Zhou Churan thought that someone had set its tail on fire. Fortunately, Lu Sheng was present at the time and stopped Zhou Churan from putting out the fire in time, otherwise. Lu Sheng smiled when he thought of the scene a few days ago. At that time, several people in the laboratory were shocked. It was the first time they saw a genetic creature with a tail on fire, and they were even more shocked by Lu Sheng's technology. Charmander. Why did its tail catch fire? Wang Ji had the same question. Under normal circumstances, it has the ability to release flames, and it likes to ignite on the tail. Lu Sheng was making a fool of himself. Jenny tilde. A ruffian little Squirtle grabbed Charmander's shoulders, took out a tube of nutrient solution from the turtle's shell, and stuffed it into his mouth, like a cigarette. Oh shit. Lu Sheng knew this Squirtle and named it Xiaojiao, but he was not good at all, with a naughty personality, but he was naturally smarter than his siblings, and liked the behavior of the staff in the mimic laboratory. That tube of nutrient solution must have been secretly hidden when Zhou Churan and others were not paying attention. No wonder this little fool is faster than the others. Smoking looks mostly learned from TV. However, Lu Sheng stipulated that smoking is not allowed in the laboratory. In order to let Pokémon familiar with the human world, and to give them some entertainment, he specially built a large screen in the breeder room. Mr. Liu, to be honest, he has a lot of personality. One of the auditors laughed. He looks naive, how can he act like a ruffian? Xiao Gai took a few sips, and suddenly saw Lu Sheng and others appear. The little hand pumped the nutrient solution and put it into Charmander's mouth, looking away, with a, nothing to do with me, attitude. Lu Sheng didn't know whether to laugh or cry, too lazy to care about this little fool. Everyone, you can start the evaluation. You can tell me how you need to cooperate. Squirtle's ability is mainly water spout, which is not as lethal to the human body as Pichu. They are occasionally lazy in character, sometimes they are very lively, and they are also closer to humans. While introducing them, Lu Sheng invited Squirtle to do some inspections. The content of the review is similar to the previous review, mainly to see whether they are very aggressive. However, Squirtle looks silly, and the performance is harmless to humans and animals. Even the most rigorous reviewer in the team will almost write, harmless, when writing reviews. Mr. Liu, can you let them use the water spout ability, you just said? Wang Ji said cautiously. Lu Sheng glanced at Wang Ji and said, yes. Reach out and fish out the little Squirtle who is swimming back underwater. Just now, its companion was cooperating with the evaluation, but it was the only one who was paddling and fishing in the back without any effort. Little boy, perform a water spout at the pool. Jenny. Don't want to. You stole the nutritional supplements just now. Don't think that if you didn't see it, you could deceive me by framing it for Charmander. Lu Sheng said viciously. Jenny tilde. The little boy gave in. It stood beside the pool obediently, opened its mouth, and a column of water spewed out. How can it spit up so much water for such a small body? Several people were stunned. Lu Sheng was also curious, it was unscientific anyway. But in front of Wang Ji and others, he said calmly, water needs to be stored in advance. Their internal structure is rather peculiar, and they can store a lot of water and concentrate the water. Oh, that sounds awesome. They're getting used to it anyway. First, there is Charmander's tail with fire, and then there is Squirtle's unscientific water spout. Existence is reasonable, and it can't be magic. Perhaps, that's why Lu Sheng renamed the company, Pokémon. There was Pichu before, now Squirtle, Charmander, each one is truly magical and unique. During the review by Wang Ji and others, Lu Sheng cooperated for a while, then hid aside and opened the system interface. It's been nearly 20 days since the last fling dice. The cooldown time of the first dice was close to a month, but the cooldown time of the last time was accelerated until the cooldown just ended. You can flip the dice again. I don't know how many times it can be unlocked this time. Don't give me a whole 1, 2, and jump to a 4. Lu Sheng clicks the triangular cone dice. Shake. Stop. The front number is 3. So coincidentally, only add 1 point at a time. Lu Sheng was speechless. He then noticed that the dice had cooled and the needle moved faster, probably faster than the first 2 times. Also, it may be unlocked in about 10 days next time. It was a small consolation for Lu Sheng. Although the number of points did not jump out of the maximum value, 3 is not bad, and it is not calculated for 1 and 2. Lu Sheng starts browsing the Pokémon Pokédex below. There are still many Pokémons that are not unlocked, and unlockable Pokémons are not all of them. Unlock Bulbasaur first. Since there are Charmander and Squirtle, Bulbasaur is indispensable. Lu Sheng focused his eyes and successfully spent 1 point to unlock Bulbasaur. Congratulations to the host for triggering the lucky mechanism and getting an advanced pill, which has been put into the backpack. Lu Sheng's eyelids jumped, secretly thinking that he was lucky and got another advanced pill. Next unlock. He's having trouble choosing again, and Solacean scans, his eyes fixed on Meowth. As the main member of the Rockets trio, Meowth has a high enough appearance rate. Lu Sheng hesitated for a moment and chose to unlock Meowth. Cats are also more popular. In addition, Lu Sheng wanted to see if he could train Meowth to speak human, which was an attempt. The company host has unlocked 5 types of Pokémon in total, and has a chance to win a lottery. Do you want to open it? The system pops up the prompt box again. Lu Sheng was stunned, and immediately chose to open it. A large lottery roulette pops up in the interface, and there are a lot of things on it. There are Pokémons that Pokédex doesn't currently have, and there are advanced pills. Before Lu Sheng could take a closer look, the big roulette wheel quickly turned. Stop. Lu Sheng muttered silently, but the roulette wheel did not stop, apparently out of control. After a few seconds, the roulette stopped, and the red pointer pointed to a grid. Mew. Lu Sheng's eyelids jumped. Previously, he searched all the Pokémon that can be unlocked, but found no Mew, and now it is a free draw. Unlock Pokémon Mew. After the prompt is over, a bright square appears in the Pokédex below, which is the Mew that has just been unlocked. Good luck today. Lu Sheng is ready to unlock the last spot. Finally a flying type. Hoot Hoot, Natu, Pidgey, Farfetch'd. Choose Hoot Hoot. I have high intelligence, I can learn hypnosis, I feel like I can use it to treat insomniacs. Hoot Hoot was chosen for the last spot. Lu Sheng thought that in the animation, Ash has a heterochromatic night owl with a very high IQ. Choose Hoot Hoot. Congratulations to the host for triggering the lucky mechanism. Lu Sheng was stunned. Today's luck is so good, and the lucky mechanism is triggered. Is it possible to get another advanced pill? Lu Sheng looked down and realized that it was not an advanced pill, but another extremely useful thing. Congratulations to the host for triggering the lucky mechanism and obtaining the Pokémon Monitor, which has been automatically added to the system. Pokémon Monitor. Tag Pokémon to monitor Pokémon's health at any time. A small icon has been added to the system interface, which looks like a radar. After clicking on it, there are options for adding targets. Monitoring Pokémon's life. Is it possible that Pokémon is in danger and can get feedback in time? Lu Sheng pondered for a moment, with a happy expression on his face. If so, after the Pokémon is sent out, the Pokémon can be protected as much as possible. The newly unlocked Pokémon is being researched on this side, and the review on that side is coming to an end. Several reviewers gave the new species Squirtle relatively good evaluations. They have relatives, docile attributes, a little naughty and lively in character, and their skills are not as aggressive as Thunder Shock. It is very, very difficult to pass the audit. Mr. Lu, can I take the liberty to ask something? They put away their notebooks, an auditor asked. What's the matter? Lu Sheng said. It's like this, I prefer Pichu. Can be booked. No, I was thinking, if Mr. Lu made a simplified version of Pichu, such as removing the ability to release the discharge flow and removing the evolutionary genes, would the price be cheaper? The auditor had been thinking about raising a Pichu before. Lu Sheng said coldly, I'm sorry, I will only add electricity and evolution genes to Pichu, it will not be too simple. Several people were speechless. Bad old man is very bad, liar. In fact, it is not impossible to create a Pichu with a ability gene of 0 on the road, but the absorption in the nutrient solution will not decrease. There is a large demand for nutrient solution, and the cost is still the same, which has little to do with whether it is a simplified version. If you really like Pichu, maybe I will lower the price of Pichu in the future, and I will try to make the price of Pichu popular. Lu Sheng once again moved out the remarks he made on Weibo. Pichu is currently expensive because it does not rely on reproduction, but develops into eggs in a culture tank. In the process from seed to egg, it is expensive to absorb a lot of nutrients. If Pichu lays eggs, the cost may be reduced a lot. In addition, when the Pokémon company grows to a certain extent, talk to the manufacturer of the nutrient solution, and you will definitely get a good discount. Will the price drop by then? They didn't quite believe Lu Sheng's words. If you can make more money, how can you be unwilling? Which businessman will be unable to make money? Instead of money, I want to make the company's brand better, and I want everyone in the world to experience the excellence of Pokémon and get happiness from them. That day will come, just wait, time will tell. Quote. Lu Sheng's magnetic voice made Wang Ji's heart sway and felt the impact of different values. Mr. Lu, I believe you can do it. Unexpectedly, Wang Ji was the first to respond with an excited expression. The rest of the people also responded, and they couldn't help but admire Lu Sheng's mind and philosophy. Some of them came up with the idea of resigning from the evaluation agency and going to work at Pokémon. After sending off the auditors, Lu Sheng returned to the laboratory and took a look at the cultivation room. At present, the medium and large culture tanks are basically full, half Pichu and half Squirtle. Only the super-large culture tank remains. Lu Sheng pondered for a moment, and wanted to inject the culture medium into the super-large culture tank, and then inject the new Pokémon genetic code. But think about it carefully. Finally, delay it for a day or two, otherwise it will easily arouse suspicion. When the morning came, the seeds of the new species were not put in. How come they suddenly have them now? Lu Sheng resisted the urge and left temporarily. Come back tomorrow and the day after, everything will be more reasonable. Of course, the laboratory personnel are probably surprised by how fast Lu Sheng designed the species. It has only been about 20 days since the last launch. After all, I'm a talented designer. Lu Sheng shamelessly boasted. In the afternoon, instead of continuing in the laboratory, I returned to the company's affairs, and I also had an appointment with a company in the afternoon. At about 3 o'clock, Huang Xiaoyu came in to report, and the Zhanwang Group sent another person. Why is the Zhanwang Group still haunted? Didn't I say no to sell it? Come back. Could it be that Secretary Song again? Lu Sheng was completely speechless. Explicitly rejecting it twice. Zhanwang Group's brain cramps, can't understand human words. Mr. Lu, it's not this time. I have changed a representative. His attitude is not as aggressive as Secretary Song. He only brought one person here. Would you like to meet? Huang Xiaoyu pursed his lips and smiled. That is to say, the boss of his own is not afraid of the Zhanwang Group, and if he wants to scold, he will scold him. Not see. Lu Sheng thought about it again and said, wait, let someone wait in the lounge. I have an appointment with the Senuo Group in the afternoon. What time will the other party arrive? Senuo Biotechnology Company, Limited is the world's first technology company, and the genetic biology under the company's name is world-renowned. Has been sitting on the throne of the world's first asset for a long time, much more than the second. Presumably, the gap between Zhanwang Group and Senuo Group is not normal. This time, Senuo Group sent someone to have a negotiation with Lu Sheng. Lu Sheng wanted to hear the terms of Senuo Group, so he agreed to meet with their company's representative. It just so happened that Zhanwang Group sent someone to come. Lu Sheng had to let Zhanwang Group understand the attitude of Pokémon Company, and he could use Senuo Group to overwhelm Zhanwang Group. If possible, it is best to form the concept of the two as competitors to reduce the pressure on the company. The representative of Senuo Group is almost here, about 3 o'clock. Huang Xiaoyu paused, unable to understand Lu Sheng's coquettish actions. In the lounge. Cousin Yusong, is it necessary for you to come in person? Originally, I didn't need to come here, but Secretary Song's brain has messed up things. I told my eldest brother earlier that Secretary Song has a brain problem and can't be used. Two men are talking. The one on the left is Huang Yusong. Huang Yuteo is his cousin and is currently in charge of some businesses in the Zhanwang Group. Recently, Huang Yusong was sent to manage the field of genetic biology. It happened to happen that he asked Huang Yuteo for help. The other is Huang Yusong's cousin, Zhang Quan, who just graduated from college. Haha, Secretary Song's dog died when he heard that he was sent to the hospital. This idiot is a fox all the time, but he didn't expect to meet a ruthless person. Deserving it. Listening to the people around him say that he goes to other companies to talk business and shouts at others. No wonder Lu Sheng doesn't give his face. I have a headache when I encounter such a fool. However, Lu Sheng's attitude seems to be firm. It's okay, this time we're not here to buy a company, but to invest. I have persuaded my big brother that it doesn't have to be an acquisition. The same is true of investing a sum of money. It's too much to spend 10 billion directly. Huang Yusong is full of confidence in this trip. The acquisition costs 10 billion yuan, and the investment only costs 1/10. Cousin Huang Yuteo wants to monopolize Pokémon's sales channels, and investment can achieve the same purpose. The two heard footsteps and immediately shut up. The Lord is here. Several people appeared at the door of the lounge. The one who took the lead was Lu Sheng. Hey, why is there anyone else here? Xiao Yu. Lu Sheng shouted. Mr. Lu, what's the matter? Huang Xiaoyu trotted over from behind. Who are they? Lu Sheng asked with a stern face. People from Zhanwang Group. Mr. Lu, you were not. Huang Xiaoyu wondered. Just now Lu Sheng ordered her to bring someone to the lounge, how could she forget it in a blink of an eye? People from the Zhanwang Group. Didn't I tell them to go back? I have an appointment with the Senuo group this afternoon. How can I be so confused? Lu Sheng sighed. Forget it, don't make a mistake next time, it's not an example. Everyone, please, since it's all about business, let's sit down and talk together to save time. Huang Xiaoyu's eyes bulged. I understand what's going on. It turns out that President Lu is acting again and treats her as a scapegoat. Hateful. She pursed her lips and stepped back unhappy, thinking, Mr. Lu is really good at acting. It's a pity that Oscar didn't give him the award. Lu Sheng laughed wildly in his heart, facing the representative of Northam Group, apologetically. Hobbs, I'm sorry. My secretary accidentally made a mistake, don't mind talking with Zhangwang Group. Hobbs is a white man with thinning hair. He raised his brows and said lightly, okay. No company in the world can compare to their Northumbria Group. He believes that as long as Lu Sheng is not stupid, he should know to make the right choice. And this time, Hobbs believes that the conditions brought are enough to impress a small company that has just emerged. The two inside have been confused by a series of events. Northam Group, the world's largest biotech company by assets. They want to grab business with Zhangwang Group, that's amazing. The two of them were full of confidence in this trip, and still had indelible arrogance, which disappeared at this moment. Huang Yusong stiffened his back, screaming badly. If the Northam Group takes action, will there be a chance for him? The Pokémon Company actually attracted the attention of the Northam Group, which is amazing. The company you entered just now is the Northam Group. Lu Sheng led people into the lounge, and the employees outside started talking. After Huang Xiaoyu came out depressed, when others asked, she told the truth. The Nosen Group, the world's #1, actually sent someone to our company. Of course. The technology that the Northern Group has not been able to master, and the general manager Lu, they must be seeking cooperation. If we can cooperate with the Northam Group, will we be able to take off in the future? Everyone is looking forward to the company's relationship with the Northam Group. Hearing their conversation, Huang Xiaoyu couldn't help but say, Northern Group is great, but our company is not bad, otherwise why would others come to the door on their own initiative? Previously, Mr. Lu rejected the acquisition of Zhangwang Group. Others have not come to the door again and again. This is called asking for others. Now Mr. Lu can talk to whoever he wants to talk to. I definitely don't think we are worse than others. After she said what she said in her heart, she regretted it a little, and felt that she was too embarrassed. Nosen Group is the #1 in the world, not only in the field of genetic biology. Compared with all companies, their assets are #1. However, the company has only officially entered the formal stage. Is it too early to say this? However, Huang Xiaoyu's remarks did not arouse everyone's disgust, and many people applauded it. Huang Xiaoyu said happily. It seems that everyone has a strong sense of belonging to the company. In the lounge, Lu Sheng made tea for both sides and said with a smile, Zhangwang Group, I have communicated before, it is impossible to sell the company. If you still come to buy it, then the two of you can go home. It's not an acquisition. Mr. Lu, this time, we have brought enough sincerity and are willing to invest in your company. We invested 1 billion in the Magic Treasure Company, just want to get 18% of the shares, and sign an exclusive sales agreement. Huang Yusong thought that the representative of Senuo Group was listening, his momentum was a little weaker, and his fingers were restlessly rubbing on the side of his thigh. As for Zhang Quan on the left, he bowed his head and didn't dare to interrupt. Oh, investment. Lu Sheng sneered. If you want to invest, you must have a prerequisite to do it. What conditions? Huang Yusong thought that the game was in high spirits. Yu Zhanwang Group withdrew from the powerful company. You should know about my grievances with Jiyu Li, otherwise you won't talk about it. Lu Sheng took a sip of his tea and said, remember, it's just a prerequisite. It's not that you have done it. I will definitely agree to the conditions. The specific conditions need to be negotiated. The company won't give them a stake, but in terms of the sales exclusivity agreement, you can have a good talk. Huang Yusong narrowed his eyes and said, I want to go back and ask Big Brother. Laugh. There was a laugh on the side. What are you laughing at? Huang Yusong looked at the white man. Hobbs raised his chin slightly, and said disdainfully, 1 billion dragon coins, so is the Zhanwang Group. You. Huang Yusong blushed. Mr. Liu, our Senuo Group is also willing to spend 1 billion, but not for investment, but to buy a technology in your company's hands, evolution genetic technology. Hobbs raised his palm, stretched out a finger, and then stretched out another finger, saying, 1 billion technology transfer fee, plus 2 genetic technologies. Mr. Liu currently has the technology to give genetic creatures the ability to discharge. Our Northern the group has done a lot of research in this area, and Mr. Liu can choose from Solacean, such as water, fire, sandification, skin tempering, etc. Each one belongs to the core gene technology of Senuo Group. Now, they have to use 2 genetic technologies, plus 1 billion, in exchange for 1 genetic technology in Lu Sheng's hands. Huang Yusong and his cousin Zhang Quan looked at each other and were speechless. Compared with the conditions of the Zhanwang group, it is more than a little bit better. Is that all? Lu Sheng was very disappointed. Even if Lu Sheng really has the evolutionary gene technology, he will not be foolish to make a deal with the Nordson group. It seems that the conditions are good, but it is Lu Sheng who suffers a lot. Evolutionary technology can help the Northam Group to a higher level and stabilize its position, but the Northam Group only intends to exchange 1 billion in 2 technologies. Hobbs frowned and said, if Mr. Liu is unwilling, then our Northam Group is willing to add a condition that Pokémon can share 30% of our Northam Group's channels. 30%. Huang Yusong was surprised. Everyone knows the global layout of Northam Group. Even if it only shares 30% of its channels, its value cannot be measured in money. It seems that Northam Group is bound to win this technology. Huang Yusong thought. Sounds good, but just when everyone thought Lu Sheng would agree, Lu Sheng shook his head and sighed again. It's useless to talk too much, everyone, please come to the laboratory with me. Some things must be seen with your own eyes to be convincing. Why go to your lab? Hobbs wondered. Take everyone to see my latest results. Lu Sheng needs to prove one thing. In his opinion, the core technology of the Northam Group is nothing but garbage. He had to let Hobbs know that he didn't need to pick 2 genetic technologies from the Northam Group to still be able to design all kinds of genetic creatures. It is also necessary for Zhanwang Group to understand that it is a big joke for them to take 18% of the company's shares for 1 billion. The most direct way is to take them to see the latest results. The potential of the Pokémon company is not the slightest bit that is currently shown. What they and their companies think. Too naive. Hobbs, the representative of the Northam Group, or Huang Yusong's cousin from the Zhanwang Group. Both sides were curious about Lu Sheng's proposal. The latest lab results. Their hearts moved slightly, and their curiosity was aroused. At present, there are number 1 and number 2 laboratories in Pokémon Company, of which number 1 is the old laboratory, which only houses the culture tank. The original incubation room was also demolished and sent to the number 2 laboratory. Lab 1 breeder lays eggs, which are then shipped to number 2 for hatching. Lu Sheng took the group to Lab 2, which was far away. They each had their own cars, and they drove with Lu Sheng's car for more than half an hour before arriving at their destination. Mr. Road. The security guard at the door nodded. Lu Sheng brought a group of people in the morning, and another group in the afternoon. The security guards don't know who the other party is, but Jiwei can see from these small details that the company is indeed getting better. Everyone, come with me. Lu Sheng took both parties all the way to breeder's room. The normal breeder room is divided into 2 types. One is a large room full of culture tanks, and the other is a room where breeder genetic organisms grow. A formal biological laboratory is mostly divided into research rooms, breeder rooms, incubation rooms, medical rooms, etc. The research room of the number 2 laboratory has been placed unused, because there is no biological designer in the laboratory, only Zhou Churan and other breeder teachers. Lu Sheng intends to move back the laboratory equipment and expand it into an incubation room. In the past, Sun Yang's company did not want to lay eggs for every genetic organism, so the space prepared for the incubation room was not large enough to meet Lu Sheng's needs. Lu Sheng brought them to the nursery room. Squirtle was running around, playing in the water. When they saw Lu Sheng, they rubbed at Lu Sheng's feet again, pointed to their mouths, and wanted a snack. Cough, it might be uncomfortable in the mouth. Lu Sheng picked up the Squirtle and threw it into the sink. In the middle of the pool, Charmander was sitting and looking at the scenery, and there was still a Squirtle named Xiaojiao beside him. Yeah. Charmander also saw Lu Sheng, jumped and fell to the edge of the pool, and jumped again and fell into Lu Sheng's arms. The flames on the tail are very conspicuous. Hobbs' eyes narrowed. The ability to control fire. Lu Sheng pointed to the Squirtle who were in front of each other's water spout play rough, patted Charmander's head again, and said with a smile, "Sir, do you still think I need the genetic technology of your Senuo company? This is the new achievement I want to show you, and it is also the creature I designed recently. They can control water and fire. It is true that compared with your Northam group, there is less genetic technology, but your Northam group's technology is nothing to me. I can design genetic creatures that control water and fire, and I can master your Northam group in the future. Seems like a really precious piece of technology." Hobbs couldn't believe it. Impossible. The core technology of our Northam group is the accumulated results after decades of investing a lot of money and hiring a large number of experts. How can you do it alone? Nothing is impossible. Lu Sheng shamelessly said. Perhaps, this is a genius. The genetic technology you need to study for several years is not worth mentioning in my eyes. Hobbs' eyes jumped, and he said in a muffled voice, Mr. Lu is not humble at all, and he is not like Mikey, the nationals of Longtang Kingdom I know. Our Northam Group's scientific research capabilities in the field of biology are definitely the best in the world. Why should you be humble and low-key when you have strength? Lu Sheng stroked Charmander's head and asked back, since your Northam Group is so confident, why did you come to me to buy technology? Go back and do research. I believe you can also master the evolutionary gene technology. That's because there's a huge investment in research, and it's better to buy it now. Hobbs is rhetorical. Lu Sheng sneered. You're right, the problem now is that I don't like the genetic technology of your Northam Group. So, you should go back and discuss with the company to see if you can exchange some other conditions. Hobbs was silent. Do you know how long it took me to design them? Lu Sheng pointed to Charmander and Squirtle, all within a month, and now I have a new idea in my mind. It won't be long before a new genetic creature is born with even more special abilities. Confusion-type genetic creatures do not exist in this world. Since Mr. Lu is not satisfied with one of them, I will go back and report it. Hobbs had to re-evaluate Lu Sheng, and the potential of the Pokémon company. Although he doesn't believe some of Lu Sheng's arrogant words, he has to admit that Lu Sheng is indeed a talented designer who has designed 3 different types of species in a short period of time. Few scientists within the Northam Group can match. Hobbs left first. 2 people, how do you feel? Do you think it's too much to take 18% of my company's shares for 1 billion? Lu Sheng asked the other 2 with a smile. After Huang Yusong and Zhang Quan came in, they remained silent. Just now, seeing Charmander and Squirtle again, and hearing Lu Sheng's arrogant speech, they had to admit one thing. Underestimate Lu Sheng. 2 brand new species, each with their own peculiarities, can control fire and water. Lu Sheng claimed to have completed the design in 1 month, and the efficiency is too exaggerated. Or rather, too genius. Don't say you only give 1 billion, give 10 billion, and you want to take 18% of my company's shares, I will not agree. Huang Yusong feels too outrageous. Lu Sheng is so arrogant. 10 billion is not enough for 18% of the shares. Crazy thinking about money. Lu Sheng said. I'm not interested in your company's acquisitions and investments, but in terms of channel cooperation, you can sit down and have a good talk, how about it? Everyone makes money, isn't it very good, what do you have to do with investment? Quote. Huang Yusong was silent for a while, and said, I have to go back and ask the elder brother about this matter, and I will reply to President Lu as soon as possible. After the matter was settled, Huang Yusong and Zhang Quan also left in a hurry. Zhanwang Building. In the top-level chairman's office, Huang Yusong had come back and informed Huang Yuteo of Lu Sheng's answer. Brother, are we going to increase the stakes? Or don't invest? Lu Sheng said that he can cooperate with us in channels, and he has made 2 new species. Pokémon Company has a bright future. By the way, there is one more thing. Lu Sheng said that unless we divest from the strong biological company, we will not agree to cooperate with us. Withdrawing capital from a strong company is a prerequisite, and the other party's attitude is firm. Huang Yusong shook his head and smiled bitterly. This is probably the toughest company facing Zhongwang Group. Northern Group. Huang Yutao, who is in his early 30s, has long black hair, like an artist. He was sitting on a chair, his legs were placed on the desk, his body was leaning back, his eyes were sullen and sharp. Hey, it seems that he wants to use the Northam Group to play with us. Who does Lu Sheng think he is? With a loud shout, the laptop on the desk was kicked to the ground. Huang Yusong lowered his head, not daring to look directly at his furious cousin. Almost the whole company knew about Huang Yutao's violent temper. Before Secretary Song, the 3 secretaries could be changed in half a year, all because of inattentive work, which angered Huang Yutao. Many people in the company couldn't figure out how a guy like Secretary Song with a lack of brains could be by Huang Yutao's side for half a year. Many people privately discuss whether 2 people have a relationship. Is he humiliating me again and again? I gave him a chance and sent Secretary Song twice, but he refused twice. Ah. Who does he think he is? I fool his grandma. I don't want to be acquired, it doesn't matter, I will invest in him. He still doesn't want to. Do you look down on me, Huang Yutao? I have to force me to withdraw from the powerful company. I think I am an elite father. Do you think I am indispensable? I just want him to need it. You ungrateful animal. Huang Yutao roared and quickly regained his calm, as if nothing had happened just now. Call. Huang Yusong breathed a sigh of relief. Every time his cousin got angry, he always felt like he was facing a violent storm. Come in a hurry, go in a hurry. Brother, then we. Huang Yusong said carefully. In the future, any channel is not allowed to cooperate with Pokémon, but all advertisers belonging to the Yujin Alliance are prohibited. Huang Yutao gave a domineering order, and added, find 1 or 2 trustworthy people and see if they can go to his laboratory as an undercover agent. This measure could significantly curb the pace of Pokémon's domestic expansion. Channels and advertisers, Yujin Alliance owns more than half of the domestic market, and continues to rise. Yes. Huang Yusong remembered one thing and said, just on the way back, several members of the Yujin Alliance called and asked when our conference would be held. The Yujin Alliance conference is expected to be held in the near future. All members of the Yujin Alliance should attend the event, listen to Huang Yutao's instructions, and jointly formulate future development strategies. Selected on the day of the International Gene Biology Academic Exchange Conference. Huang Yutao pondered, since this is the first time for our Yujin Alliance to hold a conference, the time and place cannot be ambiguous. Where the academic exchange will be held, we must be there, on the same day and at the same time. Clear. Huang Yusong smiled bitterly. Perhaps this is the way my cousin behaves. Absolutely high profile. The International Symposium on Gene Biology is a conference that attracts worldwide attention. Huang Yusong guessed that his cousin was not only a one-sided reason. A few days ago, there were some rumors from outside, about some scholars who were going to participate in the academic exchange meeting, ridiculed Huang Yutao. Several scholars said that the academic exchange meeting is a sacred place, and only real scholars should be allowed to enter, such as businessmen like Huang Yutao, although they are famous, they should be excluded. Huang Yutao is famous and regarded as a model. After that, Huang Yutao received an invitation letter. Now, he wants to hold the Leap Forward Alliance conference on the same day, and requires that on the same day, it is clear that he wants to fight. Huang Yusong originally thought that Huang Yutao would go to the exchange conference to slap the old faces of those scholars, but he never thought that he would do it in a different way. If I can, I'll put the alliance meeting on the academic exchange conference. Huang Yutao added a request. Understood. Huang Yusong sighed. After several days of auditing, Squirtle has obtained the audit certificate. When Lu Sheng sent someone to collect the certificate, he also announced good news to the company. Now the number of employees has exceeded 100, and new employees are hired every day. The speed is so fast that the personnel department is dizzy. The new species is called Squirtle, a creature that can manipulate water. As for the shape, it won't be ugly. Xiao Yu will pick some people later. You can go to the number 2 laboratory to shoot videos and photos, and make a few introduction videos as soon as possible. The promotion of Squirtle will also be put on the agenda. In addition, I plan to reach a cooperation with the Yunhai City Fire Department. If it goes well, everyone may see Squirtle firefighters in the future, which can be regarded as making some useful contributions to our society. Besides that, I hope the technology department can launch the website soon and only register our company's genetic organisms. Well, to be precise, they should be called Pokémon in the future, which is why I changed the name of the company in the first place. If I can, I plan to buy a pasture, or a hill, and build a playground to stock genetic creatures. For a long time in the future, we will create a brand and IP, and continue to expand the influence of IP. Of course, this is the company's later development path. Lu Sheng announced a series of big events. Among them, the issue of website-level Pokémon information was already part of the Lu Sheng plan. It's the same as building a Pokémon Pokédex. In the future, when the number of Pokémons increases, a Pokédex machine will be built, or a mobile Pokédex app will be designed. Recognize Pokémons with a camera to display Pokémon details on the screen, including training methods. The company's discussions came one after another, and everyone heard many novel viewpoints, and they were full of optimism about the company's development. Hey, why isn't anyone talking about Squirtle? Lu Sheng was surprised by everyone's reaction. Huang Xiaoyu blinked and said with a chuckle, Mr. Lu, you forgot, didn't you mention that a new species is in breeder last time? There are no surprises for everyone. There's no surprise to be born so soon. Yes, no surprises. We said in private that Mr. Lu is a genius designer, and we can't use common sense to judge. Wait for the result, and it must be a very good new species. Huang Xiaoyu said with admiration. Everyone now trusts Mr. Lu and can lead the company to glory. Mr. Lu, shouldn't you come to me just to show me new species? Secretary Wen came to the number 2 laboratory and was dumbfounded when faced with a pond of fools. Indeed, a pond of kings. The difference is that these fools have blue skin and can stand upright with their feet, like a ninja turtle. At the same time, they seem to have good intelligence, play in the pool, and are not afraid of people at all. Of course, today's protagonist is Squirtle. Lu Sheng made an appointment with Secretary Wen yesterday, and today Secretary Wen took the time to come to the laboratory. I'm very busy, there are a lot of big and small things every day in Yunhai City. Secretary Wen said while bending over. There was a small Squirtle at his feet rubbing against his trousers, and he couldn't help picking it up, holding it in his arms, rubbing Don's head and feet. Little Squirtle rolls around in Secretary Wen's arms, charm. Secretary Wen's tiredness all day seemed to be washed away by little Squirtle. Don't say it, the little things are quite relatives, and they can really relieve people's pressure. He really proved the law of true fragrance once. Lu Sheng smiled. So, many people like to keep pets. I'm looking for Secretary Wen today to do a pitch for Squirtle. Secretary Wen said in surprise. Sales. President Lu, do you think I am a rich man? I know that your company's genetic organisms are not cheap. This one costs hundreds of thousands, right? Not to sell you. Don't you want me to advertise for you? That won't work, nor can you be a spokesperson. Others will say I'm a secretary of the king in the future. Secretary Wen was humorous. Lu Sheng was stunned, shook his head and said, no, I want Secretary Wen to introduce Squirtle to the fire department. I plan to cooperate with the fire department. Fire department. How is it related to the fire department? Secretary Wen did not understand. Because Squirtle's most basic ability is water spout. Lu Sheng pointed to Squirtle's belly in Secretary Wen's arms and said with a smile, don't look at their small belly, but they can store enough water. If our Yunhai Fire Department can form a Squirtle Fire Brigade, I think, they can come in handy in case of fire. Oh. Secretary Wen touched Squirtle's belly and questioned, can they hold a lot of water in their stomachs? I don't believe it. Seeing is believing. I know Secretary Wen doesn't believe it. Squirtle can compress the water source and store it in the body. Anyway, it's almost the same principle. I'll let them demonstrate it to you. Lu Sheng searched, found the little Squirtle who wanted to hide behind Charmander, and pulled it out. Jenny. Little girl struggle under the clutches of Lu Sheng. Be honest and obedient, and I'll get you some fruits to eat. I know your kid likes to try all kinds of fruits recently. Jenny. Why lie to you, don't make trouble for me later. Lu Sheng promises benefits, Squirtle is not struggle. Secretary Wen, let's go outside and try. They came out of the lab. There is a playground outside the laboratory, and Jochuran and others will take Pokémon out for a walk, exercise, or training every day. Lu Sheng prepared in advance, brought in a lot of dry items, and spread the hay. Ignition. He asked a security guard to light the hay. Soon, the fire ahead was blazing. Little boy, use the water gun. Lu Sheng put down the little girl and slapped her little head. The little guy understood, opened his mouth, and spurted a stream of water. CCC. A powerful stream of water hit the flames, and wherever they went, the fireworks quickly went out. There seems to be a big pool in Xiaojiao's body. Until the fire is put out, there is still energy left. Jenny. It stopped, pointed to its mouth, and motioned Lu Sheng not to forget the fruit. Okay, I'll let someone prepare it for you later. Lu Sheng looked at Secretary Wen, who had been staring at the side, and said proudly, Secretary Wen, how is it? If we cultivate a Squirtle fire brigade, and the fire station will encounter an emergency fire in the future, I believe that it is no longer necessary to drive a cumbersome fire truck, to be able to get to the scene faster. Little girl is not yet an adult, and when she becomes an adult in the future, the amount of water will only increase. Indeed, if the fire department has a Squirtle fire team, it's really useful. Secretary Wen agrees. A random fire truck costs hundreds of thousands, the tonnage is higher, and the price is higher. I think it is more suitable to buy a Squirtle training. Lu Sheng continued to bewitch. Also, a special fire brigade can add a bright spot to our Yunhai city, right? As far as I know, there is no similar fire brigade in other places. If you want to put out a fire, the water storage bag in the genetic organism must be large enough, and the biological body must be large enough, which is far less convenient than a fire truck. Squirtle is very different, small in size, but has enough water output. You kid convinced me. Secretary Wen glared at Lu Sheng and said, I'll go back and communicate with the director. If it goes well, I'll bring people from the fire station. Whether it can be negotiated depends on your ability. In addition, whether the price can. Quote. Lu Sheng laughed and said, the price is easy to say, it's almost enough to recover the cost. Mainly for advertising. At that time, a special fire brigade will appear, and in conjunction with the official publicity, the hot spot will not be low, and it will definitely be stronger than Lu Sheng's advertising everywhere. Don't forget your promise. Secretary Wen glanced at him, and almost said, you know what's interesting? You don't know the cost anyway. Lu Sheng secretly said. After sending Secretary Wen away, Zhou Churan came to ask how things were going. If the director comes forward, it must be in all likelihood. He and Secretary Wen want to support our company to become the trademark of Yunhai City. This kind of thing can help, and it will be beneficial to everyone, isn't it? It would be interesting if little Squirtle could form a fire brigade. Zhou Churan thought about that scene and laughed. Lu Sheng said with a special meaning, Yunhai City is the first step. If the initial results are achieved, we will only take orders from the fire station in the future, and our profits will not be low. Ordinary people want to buy a pet worth 200,000 to 300,000 yuan, and the difficulty is not normal. But what about government procurement? Not only is there no shortage of money, but the whole country and even the world can use it. At the same time, Lu Sheng can also continue to expand the influence of Pokémon. A promotion for Squirtle is in the works. Officials have posted photos of Squirtle, as well as some information, on their accounts on several platforms. The remaining short films are in production. Rao is so, it has already caused a lot of repercussions in the outside world. First up is the image of Squirtle. Dawn first. Although it is a turtle-type genetic creature, it can walk upright, has a pair of big purple eyes, a brown turtle shell, blue skin, a tail like a small wave, and it looks soft. According to the description of the Pokémon Company information, Squirtle also has good intelligence, has evolutionary genes, can control water, and can store a large amount of water in its small stomach. Among the information disclosed in advance, it did not specify how much water can be stored, only, a lot, was used to describe it. When others saw it, they thought of Squirtle's body shape, but they didn't care. Thought, a lot, was relative to Squirtle's reminder. At the same time, Squirtle has more than one water spout ability. The information description Squirtle's rocket head hammer can smash stones, a veritable iron head function. Based on this special piece of information, a netizen added a joke to a promotional photo of Squirtle. I am Squirtle with a rocket head butt, let you taste the taste of X head. This netizen is not someone else, but an emoji package made by Lu Sheng's company employees. So much so that Squirtle's video has not yet reached the public, and the emoticon has been spread by many people in chat. The last time Pokémon released Pichu, many netizens questioned it. This time, no one will deny it. Everyone is looking forward to more news from Squirtle. Meanwhile, Lu Sheng received a reply from Secretary Wen. The fire department will go to the lab tomorrow to watch Squirtle's performance. Whether it can be negotiated with the fire department depends on whether the fire department is satisfied. Time came to the second day. An appointment with the fire brigade was made at 10 o'clock in the morning, and Lu Sheng came to the number 2 laboratory at about 9:30. After making some arrangements, he took a black glass bottle and went to the breeder room. Mr. Lu, you are. Zhou Churan suddenly caught a glimpse of the black glass bottle in Lu Sheng's hand, and his eyelids jumped. The culture tanks are all full, there are only 10 super large culture tanks left. Lu always has to put in Squirtle, Charmander, or Pichu. Neither. Lu Sheng shook his head. Could it be? Zhou Churan wasn't sure because the interval was too short. At the beginning, I will learn to answer quickly, yes, it's a new species. Lu Sheng shook the black glass bottle and said with a smile, after several days and nights of hard work, I finally got inspiration again, this time to invest in 4 new species. Zhou Churan pursed his lips, and after being shocked, he said seriously, Mr. Lu, you are not human. How to scold people. Lu Sheng. You're a monster, and those genius creature designers would be ashamed if they knew you were such a pervert. Zhou Churan sighed. It didn't take long before 4 new species were tossed out. She firmly believes in one philosophy. Produced by Lu Sheng, it must be a boutique. Xiao Churan, you will get used to it later. Lu Sheng spoke earnestly. Lu, President Lu, they are not small. Zhou Churan blushed. Go, find someone to fill 10 super large culture tanks, and still operate the same as before. Understood. Zhou Churan announced the news to many employees in the laboratory. The newcomers were dumbfounded. On the contrary, the old employees are relatively used to it, and even boasted to them, what's the matter? You will get used to it in the future. Our way is always a genius designer, not the coquettish fool outside can compare. Inject the culture medium first, and then put the biological cells in. Don't make a mistake. You can't let Lu's hard work for days and nights be in vain. Zhou Churan urged several people to hurry up. A group of rookie faces full of question marks. What the heck, it's hard work for a few days and nights. They don't really understand Lu Sheng's pranks anyway. After they finished this step, Lu Sheng drove people away again, called up the system, and chose Mu first. Mu cultivates a pair, closes people, attribute increases, loyalty increases. Lu Sheng is set up and intends to put Mu seeds in the number 1 and number 2 super large tanks. However, after putting seeds in number 1 cultivation tank, and trying to put them into number 2 cultivation tank, the system Pokédex shows, lock on. Huh. Could it be because Mu is so cool that he can't be a breeder like a normal Pokémon? Lu Sheng was stunned. Other unlocked Pokédex were still available, indicating that only Mu is special. Forget it, in the future, some conditions may be triggered to unlock again, just one of them. Next is Hoot Hoot, intelligence can be raised a little more. With Meowth's learning ability +1+, maybe he will be able to speak human words in the future. It's Bulbasaur's turn. I remember that the seeds on its body are not born, but its mother planted after its birth. If I rely on the cultivation tank, will it not grow seeds behind it? Never mind, try to get 2 first. All 4 kinds of Pokémon seeds have been flinged, and 10 super large cultivation tanks have also entered the work contest condition. After Zhou Churan and others came in, they first observed a circle, and it was still almost the same as before. The vitality of each seed was tenacious, and it quickly absorbed the nutrient solution. It's exactly 10 o'clock. Secretary Wen and the fire brigade came to laboratory No. 2. Hello, Mr. Lu's name is like thunder. The first is a middle-aged man in uniform of officers and soldiers, with a resolute face and calluses on his hands. He shook hands with Lu Sheng. I'm Xiao Pinlong, the Commander-in-Chief of the Yunhai Fire Brigade. I heard Secretary Wen say that your Pokemon company has a new creature that can provide a lot of convenience to our fire officers and soldiers. Lu Sheng nodded and said, yes, that creature is called Squirtle. They are currently about 10 days old. They can understand human speech and have a large water storage capacity. Squirtle. Xiao Pinlong was curious. I've got a bunch of Squirtle brought to the playground. Please come with me, Squirtle won't let you down. A group of people came to the small playground. Xiao Pinlong and the others saw that there were many blue dawn heads jumping on the ground, and when they looked closely, it turned out to be a discolored fool. At the moment, 2 fire officers and soldiers were amused. In the future, if the fire station sets up a gangster squad, the picture should not be too beautiful. Thanks for watching.